Get 'em, Jimmy, where low shack at? The bottle's getting empty, I'm the Kraken, we stacking. Chips, all of this, what I want, plus money winners, that's what I'm on. You could say I'm gone, I prefer elevated pump sports radio. Time to get educated, who get produced, fade the juice, letting loose with so much abuse that the bookies wanna call the truth. They get slaughtered, can't forget Jeff and low baggers in the chat. That's a lethal weapon, cause we be, pubbing. We be pubbing!
What up, cappers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers? Happy Thursday, April 11th to all of you. Thank you for watching Betting with the Bag right here on Pub Sports Radio. It was just heartbreak in MLB yesterday. Got crushed. Give a lot of the money back that I made on Tuesday. It was disappointing. Very disappointing. After all this time, I'm finally back in the black, barely, but back in the black in NHL. But all I could think about was how everything went wrong in MLB. You know, we cashed the Twins at plus 149 to start, and then Cardinals lose 4-3. The Blue Jays lose an extra inning. As soon as I saw Meza walking out, I should have just immediately live bet the Mariners. The Rockies, I mean, it was like a genie hit a fluke pop-up double. The outfielder missed by an inch. Give the Diamondbacks a win there. You know, the Tampa Bay first 5 under 4.5. I mean, that the final score is 4-2. It should have taken the full game, especially knowing that the Angels bullpen was healthy. You know, the other losses were ugly. My late card was ugly, but it you know, these days happen, and it hurt. It hurt badly yesterday. So, you know, it just is what it is. It's part of the roller coaster ride, and have to be able to handle days like that and not, you know, completely lose it. I'm going to try my best to do just that, and by doing that, I'll just be focusing on today's action. There's 4 spots in NHL on the -1 line that I like very much. Maybe this is because of losing yesterday, but I hit them at 400 a pop on the -1 line, so it's a little higher than normal. If I add anything, it will be at the regular 300 unit size. It won't be at the 400. These are 4 spots that I really like. The Oilers yesterday, I probably should have hammered harder. And when I said that to you guys, I said, well, just in case Vegas scores first, then I'll just hammer it live. By the way, live was magic. Live was magic yesterday again. But it didn't get me to the black. I'm still on the red off of what happened in MLB yesterday. So it was disappointing. Disappointing day. So let's get after it. Shout out to all the cappers in the chat. Billy Friedrich said that Arizona Vancouver under 6.5 last night absolutely infuriated me. I was thinking about you when those late goals started coming. I felt because you were on the right side. I mean, this is tough. That one was tough. Pig Milk play today is the Texas Rangers -1.5 at plus 107. Rangers -1.5 at plus 107. We have 6 MLB games because the Tigers game is being postponed, 10 NHL games, and 5 NBA games. We are going to start with Mets Braves here in a second after I copy and paste action from the cappers in the chat. So let me just see if I can get as much as I can here. We'll start with Billy Friedrich. So Cabby also has 3 best bets today. So he gets his card started with the Brewers Reds, which will be our first game after NHL. That game pops off at 1:10 p.m. So KG says, it's my birthday. Trying to hit a big payday. KG 1028. Happy birthday to you, my friend. I was happy that we gave Chang the winner on the 2-gamer yesterday. That was important. But the Oilers was just I honestly, and I was trying to, you know, say this, and I honestly, there had not been a more egregious line put out in the NHL all year long, and I should have just hammered it. I should have just destroyed it. Ron Walsek says, are you going to honor Mary by dropping your fierceness just in time to remain forever young? Beautiful work, Ron. I have been told by our friend Flash that his group is moving heavily, and I mean heavily, on fierceness. They've already bet fierceness, and their betting fierceness to win the Triple Crown. So we will have to deal with all of that as we get closer to the Kentucky Derby, the first Saturday of May, the run for the Roses. Kong's clips. I didn't know that OJ that it happened to OJ. So I don't know what to say about all that. But I'm not gonna say anything. Truth teller in the house. Morgan Spooner says 2 plays locked in so far. Kansas City first 5 money line. Texas first 5 -0.5. Waiting in court. Hopefully my lawyer can get me Brady Singer at home performance. I like it. There we go. Tatiana, ready to get to work. Thank you for rolling with us. Let me just get our guy Morgan Spooner's action ready to discuss. So correlated action with the pig milk play of the day, backing these Texas Rangers here. Let me copy and paste that. JP Sears. We'll go over what our expectations are with Rangers against lefties. Gerald Jones in the house. There is Truth Teller. Smooth balls play of the day. Brewers first 5 on the run line at +108. And that will be our first game that we discuss with Daby Cab after NHL. Pops off at 1:10 p.m. We're going to get into MLB here very, very soon. I just want to make sure I've got everybody's action. Justin McKelvey in the house. We get Ozuna over a half RBI. Barbarito making moves as well. It's going to put this right above the MLB here because we got to get rolling. Let me make sure I got everybody's action, and we got to take care of business here today. Last night just hurt. It hurt bad. Oldie in the house. Serious business, ready to get to work. Nasty Nate ready to go. Julian Cesario. Glad that you joined me on the Oilers. That was and Swiggy says, and warning us off the Canucks. It's one thing to warn you guys off the Canucks, another thing to take Arizona. And Slatsy has a real good chance of cashing the Oilers to win the division at a huge price. It's going to be an extremely exciting last week, an extremely exciting last weekend in NBA too. We have 5 games, and I believe almost every single one of these teams are on the first half of back-to-back, which we know what sets up for Friday. I mean, Friday is going to be. Hopefully we can get the show in 4 hours. Justin McKelvey, a Barbarito, ready to go. Steve G says Rocky's fade train keeps rolling. You nailed it, Steve. I thought I was in business there. Up 3-2. I mean, Jose cashed his first 5. Of course, I wasn't on the first 5. New Walker says the Jays should have won in regulation, but the rest of the story. I mean, Meza to White. I mean. I don't think there's a team in the Major League Baseball, including the Oakland A's, that has a worse, at the end of a 3-game series, would have, a weaker bullpen. And I know we're missing some important pieces, but that was just astonishing. All right. Justin McKelvey said I chased all my losses on Oilers, moneyline Oilers in regulation. I should have done that shit. Slow Jams Arsenal in the house. Lex Steele, Doug, Rodney Barton. And Perky saying that the Reds game possible postpone and rain alert. Be cautious of bets being tied up from delays and possible postponements. Joey Harb ready to get to work. Doug Slatsy in the house taking the shot with the Habs moneyline +175 and Pens moneyline. Rangers in regulation. Leafs -1. Panthers team total +3.5. I can't wait to talk about the Toronto Maple Leafs. I've been watching them very closely. Got a lot of things to say. Smoking Tree says, how about them Nuggets, baby? Yeah, I got in on them -2.5 live. So had no pregame action on them, but Dutchie swept the board yesterday, and you guys were clearly on the right side. They looked very, very good. Very, very good. Alec Dirks will get Rangers, Phillies, a parlay. Smoking Tree on the Brewers money line here if that game goes. Let me make sure I got that here ready to go. So I got Alec Dirks action, Doug's action, Twins money line. Get that all in here, copied and pasted. Locked in. Roddy Barton says, I can't believe the Royals have won 6 straight. Am I dreaming? You guys deserve it. Royals fans deserve it. It's been a rough go since you guys beat us in the ALCS. What year is that? Are we going back to 2015? I think it's 2015. Let me just make sure I got all this copied and pasted. Okay, we got a lot of work to do. Royals first 5+0.5 for Doug. There's Tori Coker ready to get to work. A bankroll Spence says, great day to be a Kansas City native. I love it. Doug on the Orioles Sox under 9 full game. Joey Marinaccio best bet is the Astros at minus 130. Slow Jams Arsenal looking at the alt line for the Reds at minus 1.5 at plus 170. Stimmy OG in the house. Let me get this here. Copied and pasted. So we're ready to rock. Great to see all of you guys. Jeffrey Moore says the bag was confident. Always mine. I had to follow. Thanks a million. Yeah. Look, it was just the no sweater and just. I don't think I made enough money on it. So, Lee Davis, love to see you in the chat. Ken Mizrahi, Jesse Gomez has Gomber got it done first 5. Yeah, I guess I don't know why I was on full game. It was clear mistake. Slow Jams Arsenal says my Astros are killing me. All right, it's time to get to work. My dude said he got screwed by the Blue Jays. They're on my not bet list. And Slats said Oilers 4 back of the Canucks with 2 games in hand and head-to-head on Saturday. Dan Kelly says I need Orlando to win one. So does Jose. I mean, I've hedged, but or Miami to lose one. They played Toronto twice. Couldn't be set up worse. He thinks he's going to set up a parlay to hedge. Yeah, it's going to be pretty wild. It's going to be pretty wild here as we get down to the final games of the weekend here in NBA, which we will all be keeping a close eye on. But it's time to get to work. Let's bring on the star of Say Hey Plays of the Day. Thank you guys all so much for joining us. We have 21 games on the card. This shouldn't be too long of a show, which is good because the amount of work that is needed for tomorrow's card is, extremely difficult. But it'll be our last day like that because playoffs coming in NBA and then NHL playoffs are the following week and things will slow down. Also, this is the last week of I'm not using what teams are batting versus lefties and righties, and I'm not using their bullpen numbers. We'll start that on Tuesday. I believe there's enough. I always do that. I always wait till the one league goes into the playoffs. Feel like now we have enough sample size, 2 weeks of baseball. All right, Christopher Sam says, what up from Pine Bluff, Arkansas? Shout out to Pine Bluff, Arkansas. Let's get to work and bring on the star of Say Hey Plays of the Day. As I went down in flames yesterday, he did not. And we were on similar action. He had a nice winning day, and I got destroyed, which makes me think that everything's fine. And that days like yesterday happen, and we'll get back at it. Please welcome from San Antonio, Texas, home of the Southtown 101 and Pub Sports Radio, Mr. Jose Bouquett to the show. Jose, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing well. I'm in a much better mood than I was yesterday. I was perplexed to wake up and see that you got crushed. I couldn't believe it because I had a decent day. But, my triple up on the Rockies was interesting. I took them both first 5 full game to cover my ass there. And the under it got a little sweaty at times, but that was awesome too. But yeah, no, I was shocked to hear that.
Yeah. NHL's just getting bumped for 1 game, Steve. So
don't worry, Stevie. Don't worry, Stevie.
You can be sad all you want. It's going to be 6 or 7 minutes later than usual. So that's all. So you can stay calm. You can be sad all you want, but you can stay calm too. Michael Johnson says, when are you going to break down the Kentucky Derby, my guy? I don't think we're going to do a full Kentucky Derby breakdown video, as that takes hours upon hours upon hours upon hours, and it just doesn't, get the views required to make all that work. Now, we're going to do all the work. We're going to have a huge stream on Saturday for the races.
This Saturday?
No. The first Saturday of May. First Saturday of May is the Kentucky Derby. Okay, let's get to work here, Jose. We have the New York Mets popping off in an hour and 5 minutes. 4-7, 3-2 on the road at the Atlanta Braves. 7-3, 4-1 at home. We're at Truist Park in Atlanta, Georgia. Let's take a look at the weather situation here and then see what Jose is doing. First off, Jose, have you? And this game could be postponed. There's light rain off the not postponed, pushed back. There's light rain at opening pitch. It's supposedly raining right now, and then it stops raining. So 12.6 miles per hour in, 13.4 gets up to 14.6 miles per hour in. So not offensive weather. Now we went over these 2 pitchers yesterday. We have Alan Winans, who is not a he's just not a highly thought of prospect. Now he's earned this opportunity. And Topoulos, we talked about being, he really cares about these guys who 17th round draft pick out of Campbell University. He's earned this opportunity. And he hasn't looked very good in Major League Baseball. He doesn't look terrible. But he doesn't look great. Right now, he's sitting with a career 6 games started. They were all last year. 5.29 ERA. He walked 8, struck out 34. When we go over to his minor league numbers, this is a Braves pitching staff that's sort of, you could say, even though they have depth, they're sort of a mess right now. This year in Gwinnett, he's had one start, went 5 2/3, looked pretty good, and that's why he's got this opportunity. Last year he was great in Gwinnett, and then he came back and got shelled. Which happens. Came and got shelled in the show. I don't think he's too dangerous or too worrisome. And we've talked about the difficulties that the Braves have had in cooler weather. Let's take a look at D-line history here and then hand it over to Jose Bouquett and see what his plan is here from a line history standpoint. God, sorry, I should have had this all up. It's all set up for NHL. Let me get this going here at Pinnacle. Right now, we are... And I do think this game will be pushed back a little bit. I don't know if anybody's got a handle on what the beat writers are saying. But Atlanta opening up at minus 165. They opened up at minus 185. There's been an 18-cent move to the New York Mets. And I agree with it. And I know there's a lot of people who are much, much lower on Jose Quintana than I am. But I agree with it. And so I want to cut this game down as short as possible, which means I can cut it down even more than 5. I can cut it down to 3. This total opened up at 9. It's now at 9.5, which means there's volatility, which means that the dog is probably the preferred spot. There's our guy BJ in the house. BJ, best bet, Boston Red Sox and New York Knicks. I'm going to copy and paste all of that. Let's take a quick look at the cash flow then here and see what Jose thinks here. But I at this point, depending on what the cash flow tells us, and it tells us that, the sharp bets are on the New York Mets, 33% of tickets, 79% of cash. At this point, I want to be involved in them, with them. 25% of tickets, 53% cash on the under. Even if the big bets are coming in on the under, we've seen this line move to the over. Take it away, Jose Bouquett, New York Mets, Atlanta Braves popping off in an hour and 1 minute.
Yeah, I definitely lean Mets now. I mean, the market the market's been tough today, and I honestly don't have any bets coming into this card, and there's nothing that I really love so far. But I definitely lean Mets. It's just how to take them is the question. I don't have first 3, so the first 3, sure. I thought about taking a Mets team total here, just because I'm obviously petrified of the Braves lineup. And that high total makes me feel like maybe it's just a slugfest. So I definitely looked at a team total, but my team total for these Mets is 4.5. Plus 110, hoping again for a 3.5 there. So I have no action on this game so far, but like you mentioned again, I'll go over it one more time. 33% of the bets and 79% of the money on the Metropolitans here. And on our friends at Bet Online here, this opened up at minus 176, even jumped up to minus 185, and then just plummeted down even to minus 155. Climb back up to minus 163 where it is now, but yeah, nothing here for me, unfortunately. I do kind of want to fade Winnis, and I looked at his game logs from last year. He actually faced the Mets. He faced them twice, but the issue was it was in a back-to-back. So his first start at the Mets, he dominated them. 7 innings, 4 hits, no earned runs, 9 Ks, 2 strikeouts, and then saw the Mets about like a couple days later, I guess, and then just got smoked for 7 earned runs at home. So I am a little worried. Maybe he can, surprise the Mets or whatever, hit him with the Mets this first go around, and then if they see him again, he gets crushed. But I ultimately said no action here. The market, moving towards the Mets makes me feel better about it, but no action.
Well, I'm going to move on this here. I agree. And who dropped it for us? Ronnie Loft. Oh, he's on Atlanta first 5 minus a half. Who gave us the Mets first 5 plus? Rodney Barton. I agree. I mean, that's a great line. Pinnacle offering that first 5 plus a half minus 105.
Yeah, that's the bet that I looked at with the most. Like, I could see myself making that bet. It's low juice at the very least, but yeah.
So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna get that in here, and I'm also going to take the first 3 at bet 365. So I'm gonna get these both in here. While I do, why don't we move the card over to NHL, but you stay up here and you introduce Mr. Gogster just so I can get my
Yes.
bets in.
I don't
And
have a
then-
golf background, but I need to hear Mr. Ghoster's Masters action, as I think it tees off in like 8 minutes here. So let's bring him on. Unfortunately, kicked my ass at the golf course, and I'm glad that video finally got posted. I hope you guys watched it and enjoy it. The star of the video, looking like a 50-year-old man, but putting like Tiger in his prime. It is Mr. Gogster joining the program. Mr. Gogster, it's nice to see you. How are you doing?
Doing good, guys. How you doing today? It's a rainy day here on Masters Thursday. Great time though, Jose. We got to get to season 2. Can't wait. We already got people tweeting me and DMing me about this. So next year I think it's gonna be bigger. So looking forward.
Yeah,
to
great.
I
That's
love
good.
that idea too, Ghoster. It's great to see you, my man. I love the idea of us taking it in that direction of yearly and next year we could have more than 2-on-2. So that's the importance of what we're building at Palooza, is that we're going to do these things year after year after year, and they're going to build. So I loved seeing Bubbarito wanting to get involved. I loved seeing all of that.
And shout out to you, Jimmy. You're like our Vern Lundquist of this year. The announcing was just spot on. I was laughing my ass off. That was great.
Oh, thank you. I was thankful for the opportunity. Jose asked me to do it, and I love being involved with it here.
Great.
So thank you. So let's get in. Let us know your Masters action, because I made Masters action. I got in on the Masters.
Shit.
Yeah, I did. It's been a long time. It was the successful Palooza run that we had.
Yeah.
So, but let's hear your action, my man.
All right, it was tough, but I went with one live player. I got Neiman 30-1. I went with Tony Finau. Toned down 40-1, Zalatoris 45, Shane Lowry 55, Figala 50, and then Cam Young. A lot of these golfers, guys, they're all long hitters, and they're going to be playing well, kind of in windy conditions. There's supposed to be a lot of wind here, and with how tough these greens are, you're gonna need around the green game too, and you have to be a strong putter. So Tiger too, he's teeing off in about I think 2 hours from now, 3 hours. So. It's here. Christmas Day is here for us golfers. So I also got matchup bets, guys. I got so much action. I got like 50 bets on the go for this tournament. So it's a lot. Gogster 99, guys. You can check out all the matchup bets, top 10s, 20s, all that good stuff.
Okay.
So do you have a favorite? Gogster, we're gonna put you on the stake here. Who's gonna win the Masters? Just give us one guy from your bets. Yeah, I'm gonna put you to the fire.
Well, one guy. I'm kind of a homer to this lad, but. Will Zalatoris, I know he's had the bad back, but he's going to win the next 3 years. Zalatoris, and another sneaky one here, Cam Young might play very well here. He had like a top 5 in his last 3 years. It's only going to be like a second or third start, but he had a really good showing, and he should play well at this course. So I'll say Cam Young and Will Zalatoris. Couldn't give you one.
Okay. Well, Gogster, Joey wants to know, did you call those in with the landline?
No, but I got the landline close by just in case of that issue.
Okay. And my dude wants to know, how do you feel about Cam Smith?
You know what? Don't sleep on Cam Smith. I kind of wish I kind of took him maybe in some more matchup bets, but I do think Cam Smith will do well. There's a matchup bet with him against DeChambeau. It's like plus 130. I do like that one. He's got the around the game where he's not going to go anywhere in this tournament. He'll be able to grind out pars. Whereas some of these other guys might struggle. So I do like Cam Smith. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm going to keep peppering you with these questions as Jimmy continues.
I'm ready. I'm good.
Action.
I'm ready. I'm all in. Everything's good. I was just going to go over my action for, I got, look, I'm cheap. I'm only betting $200 on Masters. It's not my sport. I'm going in cheap.
Sorry.
I have $50 on Corey Connors top 5. 12-1.
Yeah.
$50 on Corey Connors top 10, 5-1. $50 on Nick Taylor top 5, 25-1.
Yep.
And $50 on Nick Taylor top 10, 10-1.
I like it. I like how we always get the Canadiens on the board there, Jim. The one guy I did take for top Canadian, unfortunately, he wasn't on your card, but I took Adam Hadwin just because I think the around the green is going to be so crucial here with this wind. And one thing, if everyone knows Corey Connors, he's one of the best ball strikers, but if he starts missing these greens, I think he's going to struggle a bit. Nick Taylor, I like the price on Nick Taylor. He's more of a longer shot. So, but yeah, I got Adam Hadwin in that top Canadian.
KG says golf is for women. Let's keep it moving. Hot Korean women. Hot Korean women.
Yes.
KG. That's
Yes.
what it's for. Hot
Short
Korean
ass
women.
skirts.
I'll say the last Masters things before we get out of here. God bless it. I know Dan's saying that it's off the board for some people. It's off the board for some, but the beautiful thing about my local is that I can bet under my limits or under my lowest bet when it goes live, so I can put in a bunch of Masters bets.
Let's
So
go.
let's fucking go.
Oh, Steve, of course, I'm only going to bet biased Canadian picks in golf. I don't know the players. I don't study it. I don't. So this is just rec bets. So the only bets I ever make for the rest of my life are going to be biased Canadian picks in golf. That's what you're going to get. That's
All right, well, then I'm going to start. I'll start tweeting you. Sorry, June. I'm going to start tweeting you my favorite Canadian every week. Just
I love it.
Just to let you know, there's only about 5
Canadian of the week.
I'm never going to tweet them out. This is I don't want anyone. It's not for anyone to tail. This is just my personal. I almost didn't send it in. And then finally, I was like, this morning, I was like, stop being a little bitch. Just put. Okay. All right, it's time to get to work here in NHL. Jose, we will see you here shortly for baseball. And this is my time of year. It's my time of year. The teams that need to win go out and win. And I believe they're going to do that in games 40 and 50 and whatever. But that's what's happening now in the NHL. And don't forget. And Chang Kim looking for your top NHL play and spread pick looking for that. Chang Kim, I was happy to give you the winner yesterday. I know it didn't pay huge, Edmonton Oilers money line, Suns money line, but hey, a winner is a winner, Chang. So I was happy that we delivered that to you. Billy Friedrich says Matt Tompkins confirmed in net for the Bolts.
Yes.
I knew that was going to happen. The Lightning don't need to try anymore. They have nothing to play for. They shouldn't be bet for the last 4 games of the year. Now, maybe they play really freely, but the Lightning are no. All that matters now is who wants it the most. That's all that matters now. And that's why I added a little bit to my action price-wise. Also, I was a little upset that I didn't add on that Oilers last night. But let's get to work. Washington Capitals 37-30-11, 17-18-4 on the road at the Buffalo Sabres 37-37-5, 28-19-1 at home. We're at KeyBank Center in Buffalo, New York. And as you'll see, Mr. Gogster, I've finally got a plus sign there after. Well, it's not. It shouldn't. It's just it's not enough. But I finally got to that goddamn plus sign. Ron Crawford in the house. Great to see you, Ron Crawford. Spreadsheet play today is the Pittsburgh Penguins, and that is my favorite. Well, I wouldn't say my. I think I have another. I think I know what my favorite spot is, but it's close.
That's a game of the night.
That one is close. I bet that, Ron. I'm already on the Penguins with you, and they're a dangerous team. They're playing, and Carlson's even playing really well right now. They're a dangerous team. But let's get back to this Capitals Buffalo Sabres side. We have Charlie Lindgren versus UP Lokinen. Lindgren. Oh, is that facts? Let me correct me if I'm ever wrong with the goalies. 22, 15, and 7, 2.78 goals against average, 909 save percentage, 5 shutouts for Charlie. Lukaden, 26, 22, and 3, 2.58 goals against average, 910 save percentage, 5 shutouts. The Washington power play is coming back to earth a tiny bit, but it's still being very, very good over the last little while. Ovechkin's rolling, and it's good to see. It's good for hockey. 20.5%, penalty killing 78.7%. Buffalo's power play has struggled all year. Dahlin and Power aren't the guys. Maybe that's why they wanted Bowen Byram. Maybe Dahlin and Power will never be there. I think that Dahlin and Power will figure it out, will be good on the power play, but they weren't this year. 16.5%, 79.4% penalty killing. So there's 2 things that were in my head here. One was obviously the Detroit Red Wings Washington Capitals game, where I told you guys that there's just too much parity between these 2 teams. Should one of them really be minus 150? And I didn't want the Red Wings at minus 150. Now we're talking about minus 130 for Buffalo. They opened up at minus 135. They're down to minus 129. So is that the right line for a game with this much parity?
Yeah, I was questioning this line. Yeah, I really wanted to kind of take Buffalo, but the line was a little too high for me. And Jim, just some updates here. Bowen Byram, he's out tonight. He's not going to play tonight. Personal matter. So,
geez, I did not have that. I had them as healthy as they've been all season. Wow, that's 32 minutes big. Ago.
Yeah, that's huge, especially for a team like Washington that's making this push. I thought, if anything, this could be Buffalo could kind of spoil their dinner here, but No Byram, personal matter.
We cashed that under 6 so easily in Washington, Detroit, so easily. And, just because I said the one thing I knew about the Washington Detroit game was that it's going to be a playoff type hockey game. And I think you can say the exact same thing about this one. So, Slatsy says, do the Sabres show up here being eliminated, draws hitting 5 of the last 10? I think they still show up. I think they're happy that they got to game 79, with all things being important here. So I think that the under is probably live. I don't know if I want to go to the well on it. Capitals snapped their 6-game losing streak with a 2-1 win at Detroit on Tuesday. Rasmus Sandin remains out with an upper body injury. He's an important piece in Ethan Bear is in rehab. Sabres coming off their second straight loss 3-2 at Dallas on Tuesday. They catch us the first period. That's all I needed from them. And I have written they're as healthy as they've been all season. But I didn't know that Bowen Byram was out. So take it away for us here, Gogster, Capital Sabres.
At this line now, Peyton Krebs is now in the second power play unit they have here. So they got, another forward on the back end there. But, in this game now, I think the under is live, Jim. I got some numbers here. Since March 1st, Buffalo's penalty kill has been 89%, 27% power play. Now, no Bowen Byron now, second power play unit. I think it's going to drop. Now, the issue with me taking Washington, they are 4-5 since March 1st onward, and they got a 65% penalty kill. So their penalty kill has been a little bit shaky and lingering. He's got an 875 in his last 5 games, 392, 904 on the road overall. So I want to take Washington at this number at plus 117. Like it's a crucial game for them right now, guys. What do I have here? 1 point back. No, they're not. They're not 1 point back. They're up now. They're 85 points, Jim. One back of, one up on Pittsburgh and Detroit, and then 2 up on Philadelphia. This is a huge game for Washington. They don't got Byram now, Buffalo. I wouldn't. You know what? I'm gonna add Washington, Jim. I'm gonna add Washington on the money line. Just based on the news, and I think this implication of this game, it's a big game for Washington. Also, just bringing up their schedule, that's another really important thing, guys. With these teams here, I have it right here. Washington, they got Buffalo, then they got Tampa, Boston, and Philly. So Tampa, they are going to start resting some players. I imagine Boston too. I'm going to take Washington here, Jim, on the money line. I think they can get it done.
Okay, I'm going to line shop for you right now, give you the best line available for Washington. I have interest in this under 6. I don't know if that's all it will remain, is interest. At this point, I don't know. We can get you did you say plus 117? That's the best line we can get you off. Oh, wait, is there a plus 118? Yes, plus 118 is the best line we can get you.
Perfect. I'll take that one. Yeah, I like it.
Slatsy's saying over is 5-0 in the last 5. What do you mean in Washington, Slatsy? Because you mean with Washington versus Buffalo? Because this one's in Buffalo. It's at KeyBank. Because let me know that. Because if I'm going up against some heavy...
Let me see here. I can bring it up. Yeah, it has gone over. Heavy over trend here. 6-2, 4-3, 5-4, 7-4, 5-4. So they have been higher scoring games here. In the past, they've played 2 this year. It was 4-3 and Washington, then 6-2, April 2nd. So only 10 days ago, Buffalo smoked this team. With this implications too, guys, no Byram. Washington's very live here, I think, at plus 117.
No, Nick Martin, the walks do not count as bases. That's what's very tricky about those baseball player props, and the intentional walks are horrible. Steve G says bad goalie teams, lots of goals. Sure, I can, we could have said that about Washington to Detroit. Bad goalie teams, lots of goals, but things are a little different last week of the year. I have no concern about going up against the trend. I just need to know that Buffalo cares enough, and I'm just going to be on the fence with the under at this point right now. So Gogster's on the Capitals at plus 118. Let's go. Let's move on. Because I'll tell you this. This is the time of year where we go up against some of the things that we usually respect. So the Leafs go into New Jersey and they destroy them. And you guys got me on to the Leafs on Tuesday. Again, that was the 42-game card, and I wasn't stopping to bet. I was just kind of just making sure I had all the information for you guys. Except I did double up on that Phillies under one of the Zach Wheeler first 3 and first 5 unders. Thank God for them. I can't imagine where I'd be in MLB so far this year without those. But you would expect the opposition that just got dominated at home to fire back and show heart. Not these guys. Not these guys.
Not these guys.
I love what Keefe, and I don't think I've said any real positive things about Keefe in my life. I love what he's done with the lines right now. These three lines are dangerous. And when Yarncroc comes back, that fourth line could be, dangerous too. But Bertuzzi with Matthews and Domi, it's the funnest line in the NHL for me. Like just watching the nuances of hockey. There's no line I enjoy watching more than they did. They're a perfect playoff type line. Then you have Tavares, McMahon, and Marner. Marner's very special dynamic player. And then you have a Nylander with Holmberg and Robertson, a line I like very much too. Now, they have issues defensively, and hopefully Holmberg is going to be as accountable as possible, because if you watch Nylander play, regardless of how spectacular skilled he is, he doesn't back check with any kind of care ever.
One-way player.
But he's so super talented. I don't So the Leafs dominated the Devils. It was their third straight win, 6 and 7 games. They outshot the Devils 39-20. Just to give you an idea about heart here, the Devils had 6 hits. 6. They're getting outshot 2-1, and they have 6 hits. This is just a heartless group that Tom Fitzgerald has put together. It's all Tom Fitzgerald's fault. Yes. The Leafs are missing defensemen Joel Edmondson and Timothy Liljegren. Edmondson could return tonight. Yarncroc's out. The Devils have lost 2 straight and 5 of 6. As Slatsy's saying in the chat, they shut down Jack Hughes. Curtis Lazar and Nathan Bastian are out as well. This is the best bet on the board to me. And, I would and because the Leafs are putting pressure on the Panthers, and the Leafs play the Panthers at the very end of the season. And the Leafs want home ice in that series so badly.
Massive.
So the Leafs are still going all out. And to me, the Toronto Maple Leafs are the best bet on the board. I got them on the -1 line at -127. Let's see what kind of line movement there is. And as I told you, these spots I liked so much today that I decided to up it. So these are $400 bets on the -1 line for me, which is up 100 from my usual, which is up 100 from January 1st when I moved my unit size up. So, and I know that a lot of you guys in the chat have bigger unit sizes than this and all that stuff, but this is me going pretty hard. There's been no movement on the line, sitting at 197, 198. If you don't think that the Leafs have heart and character, then you think, or maybe that the Devils do, then you'll have a different breakdown for this hockey game. This total is at 6.5. It opened up at 6, and it lasted there for 3 minutes. Take it away, Gogster, Devils, Leafs.
Yeah, Jimmy, great breakdown here. You're making. I'm in the case for the Toronto Maple Leafs here. They got a game in hand too, guys, on Florida, Carolina. They got a game in hand too. So they're going to be one back. They get this win. The injuries to Jack Hughes, you listed off a couple other key players the Devils aren't going to have here. And then they got Jake Allen to close things off, guys, going in net. Yeah, he's looked okay, but he's got an 887 overall, 3.63 goals against on the road. And then Samsonov, I like to call him, 930 save percentage, Jim, 2.22 goals against. This is going to be their goalie in the start of the playoffs. I'll tell you that right now. Wall, he's been a little bit shaky since he came back from that knee injury. Samsonov, it's good to see. You got to ride the hot hand in hockey, especially goalies going into the playoffs. So this is a great spot. I would say actually for the Leafs, Jim. You know what? I'm right in the corner with you here. Give me Toronto -1, another addition. I don't usually have all these additions, but with end of the season here and with the injuries and the lineups being changed and whatnot, I find this is when sides are much easier to bet. So I'm going to take the Leafs with you, Jim, -1.
Okay, I'm going to grab it for you on Pinnacle. I just want to touch on what Steve G's saying because it's completely legitimate. It couldn't be more legitimate. He says, all signs point towards Toronto here, but it's the type of game Toronto loses. That's who they are.
That's true.
it's absolutely true. But Tyler Bertuzzi and Max Domi are on that first line with Austin Matthews.
That's what I didn't bring up.
They haven't been a part of all of those, no character losses. And they bring a different dynamic to Austin Matthews, who's now going for the greatest single goal scoring season that we've seen since Brett Hull put up 86. Oh, I guess because Brett Hull put up 86 after Solani and Mogilny put up 76. So I believe I'd have to go.
I know he's born in Point Anne. He's born right here in Belleville, Brett Hull.
But I get it, and you're completely legit, Steve.
Good point. That's a local thing. That's a real local, like people in this area, we always know, right, Jim? Like Leafs, they always used to fall apart when it's a game you think they should win. But those lines you said that they've changed up these lines. It's a new dynamic of the Leafs, and it looks like it's more playoff hockey ready than I've seen in a long time.
Yeah, and so this is kind of a multiple thing where I'm not only am I believing in the Leafs' heart and character, which could blow up in my face, and so it could, but I'm also saying that the Devils are a heartless group that Fitzgerald put together. A heartless group. They 6 hits when they're getting outshot 2-1. They're showing nothing. They're not trying. So let's put our foot on their throat and step down and get paid.
Yeah, and who's their coach? Travis Green now too. So what's he doing?
God,
he's just ending the season.
It was horrific watching him in Vancouver. Okay, so I'm going to get you that -1 line, but let's roll on. Next up for us, 7 p.m. Eastern, Ottawa Senators 34-40 and 4-14, 22-2 on the road at Tampa Bay Lightning 44-27 and 7, 24-10 and 4 at home. Emily Arena in Tampa, Florida. Look, the Lightning have been very good to us. They're a huge reason, part of the reason why I'm in the black now, barely, but finally got there. I just don't want them for the rest of the year. 4 more games. They have no reason to do anything to try. I really, really like their group. It's not easy to find a player at the trade deadline that you can put immediately on your first line, and that's what Duclair has done with Braden Point and Nikita Kucherov. When you watch Anthony Cirelli play, where did it get he's phenomenal. He's so good. He's so good shorthand. He's got so much speed. And then you put him on the line with Hagel and then with Stamkos. That top 6 forwards, so Point, Duclair, and Kucherov, Stamkos, Cirelli, and Hagel, they're phenomenal. It's a great group. You have Nicholas Paul, the perfect third-line centerman that they plucked off the Ottawa Senators, and Isamont is a tough guy on that wing. Chaffee plays well there. You have Luke Glendening. The reason why he was on the Dallas Stars was because he was the best face-off man in the league. He's the highest face-off winning percentage in the league. Now, he makes a couple bad penalties, but he's on that line with Tanner Jeannot and Tyler Mott. That is just like 12 forwards that are ready for the playoffs. Now, the problem is on defense. Losing Sergachev hurt them. Cernak is playing with Perbix on the second line. They bring in Dumba, and Dumba's been pretty good. Hedman and Radish. So they're missing a Hayden Fleury right now.
Concussion, yeah.
So, they need... Well, yeah, was that what... It was undisclosed, but concussion makes sense.
No, I watched it, Jim. He ran into the referee. Yeah. The ref and him collided hard. The ref was like flat out, concussion, knocked out hard, and Fleury... You can tell he was banged up from it, too. It's a pretty freak accident when they played the Pens there.
Wow. And Slatsy's also saying Duclair doubtful. Get used to that. The players are going to start getting sat.
They're going to, especially Tampa, I think you're right.
Yeah, so don't bet. Now, Joe T is on the Senators Lightning first period over 1.5. And the first one on over 2. I get that. That is a sort of a situation that makes sense. But all I can say is, don't bet the Tampa Bay Lightning over the next 4 games. If you want to fade them, you can do that. Maybe that's the spot for it, but that's about
good find there. Duclair.
Korpisalo, Vasquez. It's for the Senators' 4th loss in 5 games. Kubalik and Stutzla as well out, and Hamonic are day to day. Cruikshank is week to week. That hurts. He's got some toughness. Josh Norris, of course, done for the year. Matthew Highmore, they're hoping he returns before the season ends. Take it away, Ghoster. Is there anything you want here?
Yeah, this is an under game, guys. Tompkins is coming in net. It's going to be his first start, and he's played really well.
We just saw him, right? We saw him in Montreal.
Or sorry, I don't know why I read that it was his first start. It's my fault. But just quickly on his AHL, I think he deserves this. He's been playing really well. He got that game. What happened in that game, Jim? Did he win that game or he lost that game?
They won 7-4. And he actually, I thought, played pretty well. Now they were like hammering him in the broadcast booth, saying any shot on him on Tompkins is a good shot. I thought he played pretty well. I thought he played with heart. I thought he was left alone a few times. I thought he was fine, but I I romanticize. The market went against me so heavily, and I knew Tompkins was going to be in that. I was pretty nervous about the spot, but take it away. Sorry, Gogster, keep going.
Yeah, so 7-4. He's just this Ottawa team right now, guys. They're playing out the end of the season with no Stützle now in the lineup. Their lines here with Schmeichel they called him up. Sanderson, great player of the future. They've called back Tyler Clevin too. Great hit, great win. For that matter of fact, my Belleville Senators over the Marlies there last night, making a playoff push. They're starting to call guys back to the AHL. If anything, it's too bad Cruikshank's out. This is a nothing game, really, in my opinion, for Ottawa. I know the Tampa Bay. They're resting a lot of players here now. Now Duclair, Fleury's day to day, Johansson's day to day as well. But they are 6-2. They got a 94% penalty kill too, guys, since March 1st. This team's just starting to play really good hockey. Now they are resting some of their key players. Well, not actually all their key players, but we're already fired on this, Jim, is I did take Tampa Bay on the money line, and I took the under 7.5 in this game. Came out to plus 115, guys. Wow. I don't see Ottawa doing much here. They're going to have to start mixing up their lineups with all these injuries. I don't see a lot of offense coming out of it. And Tompkins, he's going to be back at home now. It's never easy playing your first game at the Bell Center too. So,
but he played at the Bell Center. He had a 3-game stint in like late January. So that was his second game in the Bell Center.
Oh yeah, you're right. It was. He got in both wins 5-3, 7-4. All these I'm seeing actually here. Yeah, this is on October 15th at Ottawa, November 2nd at Columbus, November 7th at Montreal. This is going to be his first, I believe, home game, Jim. Yeah, this is his first home game, I guess, of his career. So this is I don't see Ottawa doing much. He's going to have a good game here, in my opinion. So I like Tampa Bay in the money line and the under 7.5 plus 115.
This line has moved 40 cents. Tampa Bay opened up at minus 203. 3:19 p.m. It's now at minus 166. It got down to minus 157 when they announced Tompkins. So it's just
what I'm on. I think Tampa's still going to get this one done. I do.
You got it. This is just
Ottawa, maybe, Jim. Just I feel like this is the team I really, the Sens backyard. I really cap this team, and I feel like this is a spot they're not going to.
Yeah, I get it. They're a vulnerable group. Just lost 2-0 at the Panthers on Tuesday. Showed a little bit of heart in that one, but I want nothing to do with this hockey game. Gogster has moved on the over combined, and the over's moved 9 cents towards that over from minus 113 to minus 122.
I'm on the under.
Under 6.5 in the Lightning.
Under 7.5.
Oh wow, shit, my bad. Okay, sorry.
Oh, good. Okay. I took the under 7.5 and Tampa Bay on the money line plus 115. I don't see this being. I don't see Ottawa doing much. So at worst, 4-2, maybe. I see. And Korpisalo's in that, and he doesn't scare anyone of late. So
let's roll on. Next up for us, 7 p.m. Eastern, the Columbus Blue Jackets 26-41-12, 10-22-7 on the road at the Florida Panthers 49-24-6, 23-13-2 at home at Amarant Bank Arena in Sunrise. Jet Greaves going to be in the net against Sergei Bobrovsky. The Panthers know that the Leafs are coming, so they need to win this hockey game. Now they're ridiculously huge favorites, and it's
too
just
much.
Not appealing. They're not playing very good hockey right now. They're sitting at minus 390. They opened up at minus 344. They got up to minus 419 though at 10:52 this morning. So there has been 30 cents, 29 cents of buyback. That just doesn't appeal to me at all. And the one thing, we're going to go over all these injuries and all the issues for Columbus, and they are playing with heart out there. They are trying. They're coached brilliantly, I believe. I think that Vincent's the next, great coach. And I think he's going to coach for the next 30 years, 25 years. I guess pretty old. This 6.5 under minus 116 still there at same number. So let's just quickly touch on what's happened there, and it's too bad. How much. So Fantilli done with that laceration. We know that Merzlikins and Tarasov are out. Boone Jenner hasn't come back after the stillborn death of his son. Heartbreaking. Chinnikov and Nylander are both day-to-day. Chinnikov, you got to get him back in. He's such a monster. Nylander is playing so well. I mean, you need them in the lineup. Jake Bean, Adam Boqvist. Jake Bean done for the year. Boqvist out right now. So the one thing is their defense isn't as horribly dismantled as their forward group is. They're coming off their third loss in 4 games, 5-2 at Tampa on Tuesday. They played valiantly in that one. They were just so overmatched. And then the Panthers coming off their second win in 3 games, 2-0 at home over the Senators. Ekblad and Verhaeghe are not expected back until the end of the regular season. Florida's 82.7 penalty killing, 24.5% power play. Steve G says Panthers are a different beast come playoffs, especially Tkachuk. Yeah, that's well put. But they do want to be playing good hockey coming into the playoffs. Now, I know they didn't need it last year when they came in as the 8th seed, but I'm sure Paul Maurice is not as comfortable as he would like to be with this group. I'm not involved. Gogster, are you involved in this one?
Well, there's some more injuries here. Not so much injuries, but they're resting a lot of players, Florida, for this game. And surprisingly, Jim, right? Like with Toronto on their heels here, there's no Mahura, there's no Gadjevich, and there's no Lomberg as well. They're not going to be in here. Larson is going to be in. Ekman Larson is in, from what they're saying. And then it's not.
Yeah, he was just rested. They're going to be resting intermittently for the next few games that Maurice has said. Different defensemen. But sorry, keep rolling.
Yeah, and then from what I'm seeing, just today, recently, just no Mahira, no Gadjevich, no Lomberg, and then Bobrovsky is going to be starting here. Jet Graves, he's been decent, guys. 924 save percentage, 2.82 goals against, 5-game sample size. A lot of injuries. They're calling up Felix Wolski, butchering his name there, but a guy from Cleveland Monsters, guys. They've called up quite a bit of players from this Monsters team, who is actually 3rd in the AHL right now. They're actually trying to fight for. It's too bad for Cleveland because they're fighting for the top seed with Syracuse and Rochester 2 back, but yet they have to call up all their players now to Columbus to try to just fill the void. So I don't think it's going to be a high scoring game here, guys. I got a similar trend here, Jim. I'm still going to take Florida here. Bobrovsky's going to be in net. Still think they have enough to get this one done. Power plays, though, here's a bit of an outlier: 9% and 6%. Florida's just not really playing the strongest. They're not really playing good hockey going into the playoffs, to be honest. March 1st onward, 82% penalty kills, decent. 67% though for Columbus. I did take Florida in regulation here, guys, on the under 7.5 plus 100. Don't love this one, but kind of a fade of some of these teams, Ottawa, Columbus, and I don't see Columbus scoring more than 2 goals here, or more than 3 goals. So give me Florida on regulation, Jim, and the under 7.5 plus 100.
You got it. And Nuke Worker says Panther minor league team can beat Columbus. No, Columbus playing with heart, but they are decimated. Let's move on. 7 p.m. Eastern. Philadelphia Flyers 36-32-11, 17-16-7 on the road at the New York Rangers 36-32-11. Oh, I copied and pasted that twice. Rangers are obviously monsters with 110 points. We're in Madison Square Garden in New York. I find this. I get in my head too much, and I can't believe I gave money back after another part of the reason. I'm 13-3 plus 11.86 units in my last 16 NHL bets. One of those losses was backing the Flyers in Montreal because Couturier was coming back. Now, I've said my stuff about Torts. We don't need to go into that, and I do believe that they've sort of given up on him, but I don't want to fade a team after they lose 9-3 and are publicly embarrassed. I don't want to, but the Rangers need to win this game. They're coming off a 4-2 loss at the Islanders on Tuesday, so you have to imagine that they're going to be ready to go. And I fear that I'm just leaving money on the table, not fading the Flyers again. I'm certain I'm overthinking this spot. This total is at 6. It's minus 113 to the over. Opened up minus 10. Oh, sorry, it's come right back. Oh no, it's still minus 130. Sorry, 5-cent move to the over, and then on the. God, sorry, I have it all set up here. Where did I put that?
Take your time, Jim. Take your time.
On the money line. Okay, here we go. On the money line here, and I could have got the Rangers at a good price. You can still get the Rangers at a good price. I mean, this line has moved from the Rangers at minus 220 to the Rangers at minus 202. We've had this move back to the Flyers, and maybe it's a ludicrous move. Look. Steve on the Rangers -2. I could, and Quick is confirmed. Wow. Okay, so that's the move. The 20-cent move is because Quick is confirmed. I imagine that Steve G's doing the right thing here, fading the Flyers again. I had them with a big bet against Columbus, and Columbus being said, I don't know. I've overthought this. Now I'm a mess. So. I'm off of this spot right now. Slides are saying Rangers 7-0 last 7 versus Flyers. Last 7 Rangers need this game. Flyers are fading big time. Take it away. And now we can explain that 20-cent move. So you know what I would like to see? Was there even a move when they thought that Shesty could be in net still? There was. So no, there wasn't. Opened up minus 220. And there was never a move. So am I leaving money on the table here, Gogster?
This is a tough call, Jim. This is a really, really tough call, in my opinion, because they have been so bad. But this is their playoffs. If they lose this one, they're pretty much out of it. Like, they're only 2 back from Washington still. Now they have 3 games back, where the other teams have 4. So they're down a game too. Like, this is if there's a time when Philly might show up, it could be here. Quick too. He has a 900 save percentage with a 3.02 goals against in his last 5 games. He's allowed 3, 5, 2, and 4. So the Rangers have been scoring in all he's won all those games because Rangers are putting up at least 4 or more. And all those games were on the road as well. I'm off this game. I'm 10-foot pole game. I'm not going to take this one. It's a good point. Rangers do want to keep that 1 seed. Carolina's 3 back. Low scoring game. I think a lot of these games near the end of the year are going to be lower scoring. There's one actually coming up I think could be high scoring, but I'm going to be off this game. I'm not. I wouldn't talk anyone off. See, I don't know if Philly's going to win this game just because they've been so bad. They could start off bad. First period might be the play. More I'm thinking about it. Could be a first period Philadelphia, or even plus a 0.5 pucks. So if it's 1-1, 0-0, you even get that. You get the win. So if anything coming off, especially that bad, those losses.
And look at Ron Crawford. So we have everybody coming in Rangers. Not one person on Philly. Yeah. And Ron Crawford, Philadelphia plus 1.5. I mean, couldn't you see the Rangers winning this 4-3 in overtime?
Yes.
I just.
Yeah, I could, and I don't see it being lower scoring. I don't just the way that's how they want to like. It's gonna have to be a complete 360 from what they've been doing, the Flyers, in their last 10 games, because I got their penalty kill, Jim, and since March 1st, it's 55%. It's god awful. Their power play, it's even it's 8%, and you're going up against a 36% power play and an 89% penalty kill on the Rangers. All the numbers, don't get me wrong, lead towards saying the Rangers, and the line's only 202 or 205, but just based on the playoffs implications here for this game and in these players. It's a big game for Philly, despite how bad they've been.
I'm gonna just leave this one alone, and I may be leaving money on the table. I'm probably in my head too much, but I have a very difficult time fading a team after they get publicly embarrassed. It's just tough. It's hard for me. And one of the fun things about us being sports cappers, we all played sports growing up, various levels, but we all played it. And, there's some, when you get embarrassed, do you think about anything else until the puck drops or till tip off or till first pitch or whatever, you don't think about anything else. So I'm off for this game, and I'm probably.
I'm taking. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take Philly first period. They got everyone in the lineup except Ristolainen, and I know their coach is an asshat, but if there's a time a hockey team's going to get up when your season's on the line, you're playing a strong team in the Rangers. I think,
and you have Quick in net, who's vulnerable.
Yeah, exactly.
The plus 152 available right now at Pinnacle.
Yeah, I was thinking plus 0.5. That's nuts.
No, it's too expensive.
It's too expensive. Okay, give me. Yeah, I'll take it, Jim. I'll take Philadelphia with first period money line. I got a good feel on this one. If there's a time a team's going to show up, guys. Now they could lose this game as the game goes on. They're going to try and lock up the Rangers after they get the lead, but.
Nicholas Earl says feels like a live bet at the Rangers type of game. The Rangers regulation minus 122 at Pinnacle. It's a nice number. We don't need to hammer this anymore. I just
what line did you get me, Jim, on Philly first period?
Plus 152.
Plus 152. Beautiful.
All right, let's roll on. Next up for 7 p.m. Eastern, we have the Detroit Red Wings 38-32-8, 16-19-3 on the road at Pittsburgh Penguins 36-30-12, 21-13-4 at home. PPG Paints Arena, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. The Penguins are playing obviously their best hockey of the year. And, Alex Lyon, when he came in, Alex Lyon, it was the turning point of the Florida Panthers season last year. If it wasn't for Alex Lyon, they don't, and then Bobrovsky got rolling, and, the rest is history. They make it sound like a final. Alex Lyon's stepping up again in the most important time of year. He played well, very well in that second loss, 3 games for Red Wings, 2-1 at home versus Capitals on Tuesday. But now the Red Wings are without Andrew Kopp as well. So you take out Michael Rasmussen and Andrew Kopp from this Red Wings team. They don't have a lot of that. Now, JP Comfort, I mean, Kopp is so important to this hockey team. There's a reason why Yzerman went out and got him. You know, you need that defensive responsibility, face-off winning. Nedeljkovic is playing his best hockey of the year. Erik Karlsson's playing his best hockey of the year. And Sid the Kid Crosby is just a sight to behold, and we're so lucky we get to watch them. They come in off having their 4-game winning streak after 3-2 overtime loss at Leafs on Monday. Lars Eller missed the morning skate yesterday because of an illness. List is questionable. I think he plays. Ryan Graves has a concussion. They have centers Jansen Hankins, spent a lot of the year in the A. He is out week to week. Noel Acciari has been out for a long time, same as Matt Nieto. They've all been out for a long time. I'm right with spreadsheet play of the day. His spreadsheet play of the day is on the Pittsburgh Penguins. I got the Pittsburgh Penguins -1 at +108 last night, and I think the Penguins roll, and I think they're going to be a tough out in the playoffs. I think they're going to make the playoffs. You can get a decent number on them to make the playoffs right now. I think they make the playoffs. I think that it's the Islanders and the Penguins that get in. I mean, it's pretty easy to say. But Ron Crawford on the Pittsburgh Penguins. I'm on the Pittsburgh Penguins -1 at +108. Shout out to our guy, Ron Crawford. This total 6.5 -119 to the under. This opened up at 6.5 and dropped to 6. It's kind of, opening at 6.5. It's right in between there. And I expect a low scoring game, but I want Andrew Kopp on the ice. If I'm going to bet an under for the Red Wings. Maybe I'm leaving money on the table, not taking the under. Steve G on Malkin points. He looks better than he's looked all year. He's looked like he was skating in quicksand for most of the season.
Should have had a hat trick.
So, money line wise, I'd like to see what it's at here. And from a money line perspective, the Penguins are at -153. They opened up at -141, so it's been a 12-cent move towards them. I'm in. I think it's a great bet. I'm on the Penguins -1. Take it away for us here, Gogster. Wings, Penguins.
It's a tough game, man. Big implications here. Just so some numbers here, guys. If Detroit beats the Penguins here, they got a 44% chance to make the playoffs. They're saying in regulation. If Pittsburgh wins, it goes up to 60%. So this is a big game. And if both of these teams lose in regulation, Detroit's got a 7% chance to make the playoffs, and then Pittsburgh goes down to 17%. So overtime could be very live here. Both these teams are going to want to at least get a point. More I'm thinking about this. Overtime could be live in this game. I can't choose a side, Jim. Even total, I'm kind of torn on here. Detroit is playing better hockey with Lyon in net there. And then they got Needles. He's going to be going. He's been the goalie there. He's taken over 9. Both these goalies have been hot too in the last 5 games. Lyon 928, and then Nettle, he's got a 910. And then just looking at their overall season numbers, 919, 918. So I had over as a lean, but I don't think that's right. I think if anything, it's been a heavy over trend, but this is a situation. I don't know if I would rely on that. Tough game, guys. I'm off the side. I would lean towards more the under, if anything. Big game for both teams. Huge game of the night.
I would lean towards the under as well, but couldn't you see? And this would be maybe a first period under 1.5 kind of a deal, because couldn't you see it being 3-2 with 2.5 minutes left? Wings pull their goalie. Pens make it 4-2, and then the Wings keep their goalie up, make it 5-2, or what if the Wings score that goal to make it 3-3? But I am interested in these unders. So the under 6.5 in. Oh, sorry, I put that in the wrong spot. The under Leafs -1 -131 for you. But
was it plus? Sorry, say that again, Jim.
The Leafs -1 that you wanted to add is -131.
-131 on the -1. Beautiful.
I got -127 last night, so it's not that big of a difference from what I got. And then, sorry, let me get this up here. I'm interested in the under in this one, and I'm interested in the under in the Washington-Buffalo game. So, Philly Eagle Flyers is under 6.5 in regulations. How I cover that. It still doesn't take I mean, the empty net goals could still hurt you there. Remember, the season's on the line for the Red Wings. So if they're down 3-1, the goalie gets pulled with 4.5 or 5 minutes left. That scares me. Steve G saying Wings terrible on the road. I love the Penguins here. I'm with you guys. Let's roll on to the next spot.
Sorry,
on the board.
Jim. I'm going to make an addition, brother.
Okay.
But good point there. They are 1-7 Detroit on the road since the break. 6-3 the Penguins. But just hearing your breakdown there, kind of capping the capper as Loshak does. I'm taking no goal. I haven't done it in a bit, but no goal. First 9 minutes, 30 seconds. Just it's going to be a tight game. It's going to be a not feel out, but I don't see one of these teams defensively just kind of goalies are going to be dialed early. They're going to be locked in. So no goal first 9 minutes, 30 seconds here. That's going to be, where are we here? It's going to be plus 125 too. No goal in the first 9 minutes, 30 seconds. So I'm going to take that plus 125.
You got it. Let's roll on. 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Montreal Canadiens 30, 36-12, 14, 16-8 on the road at the Islanders 36, 27, 15, 19, 10, and 10 at home. We're at UBS Arena, Elmont, New York. Nicholas Earl here in the chat. We moved together on the Islanders to make the playoffs at plus 190 when Patrick Waugh was hired. And I would like to get that home. And we feel pretty confident about it, but they have to win here. It looks like Sorokin might be in that. I'm surprised that's what's listed.
Varley's in.
Varley's in. I was going to say, how do you not go back to Varlamov? It wasn't Sorokin's fault. He actually has. I was a little harsh on. I went over Sorokin's numbers. They're not that bad. Steve G says Waugh wants this one badly against the Le Habitant. Montreal 17.5% power play, 76.6% penalty killing. The Islanders power play. Noah Dobson just stopped scoring. I don't know why that is. Their penalty killing's been bad all year. I don't know why that is. Earl Sports bets on the over 5.5 here on this one. Let's take a look at the line history. I have moved on this game. So this total is at 6. It's a pick'em here. And then from a money line standpoint, we are sitting here with the Islanders now minus 227. No, sorry, just came back a few cents. Actually, it got to minus 230 about 55 minutes ago. It's now minus 223. Still 22-cent move to the Islanders. And I got in on the Islanders minus one line, and it was expensive. Minus 1 to minus 138. It was probably the Islanders spot that made me say, you know what? If you're going to pay the price for these minus ones, you should probably bet a little bit more on this one. It's that time of year, and that's why I moved it to 400 from 300. Habs snapped their 3-game losing streak with a 9-3 win at home over the Flyers on Tuesday. Look, it was a magical night. Slavkovsky got the hat trick. They completely embarrassed the Philadelphia Flyers. They're playing without 3 defensemen, Gouli, Wi-Fi, and Weidman. Now, Gouli could be back here for this one. And, they're not the most important defense, but they do bring a lot of toughness to the team. The Islanders coming off their 5th straight win, 4-2 at home over the Rangers on Tuesday. This is the healthiest they've been in a long time. I want to fade a team after they dominate a weak opponent and everything goes right and they can't miss. And I want to back a team like Pittsburgh in the New York Islanders who must win and are winning, and they're going to win here. So I'm on the Islanders -1 at minus 138, which is much better than what I could get right now. Take it away, Gogster. Canadiens, Islanders.
Yeah, I'm in the same camp with you, Jim. Varlamov, compared to Sorokin last 5, Varlamov's got the .943 save percentage, 2 goals against. He's starting to just kind of like Samsonov. This is kind of their backup goalie start of the season, but he's playing really well now. So they're riding the hot hand. I like that. Montembeault, he's been okay, but he actually has a strong record save percentage on the road, Jim. .917, 2.82 goals against. You are missing Xhekaj, Gouli, even Roy too. He's out for the season now. They actually, listen to this, 0% power play for Montreal. So I know the Islanders have a 68% penalty kill since March 1st, but this Montreal team's not going to do much to affect it. And then the Islanders, they got a 16% power play. Montreal's got an 82% penalty kill since March 1st on the road. So short and sweet, guys. Montreal's going to get revenge. They've lost both these games this year at Montreal. Both of them were as well. Islanders, they're 3 up right now. I have here on Pittsburgh and Detroit. So they got to still put the pedal to the metal here. So give me the Islanders, guys, money line. And the under 6.5, that's going to be plus 150, Jim. I don't see Montreal scoring much here, and I'm gonna rely on the fact I don't think the Islanders are going to score 5, because if Islanders score 5 here, that's the only chance that I think this loses, like a 5-2. I don't see Montreal scoring 3 goals or more here. So similar to some of these other plays today, guys, I'm on the Islanders money line and the under 6.5 plus 150.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. And I get, what's Slatsy saying about the Habs playing so loose. I mean, there's 2 things you want in the last week and a half or 2 weeks of the season. You want a team playing completely locked in and focused like the Islanders and the Penguins, or a team playing free and loose, like the Habs, no pressure. Slavkovsky showing that, he's got the most goals of any teenager in Montreal Canadiens history, I believe. I forget the stat offhand, but he's being great. So, but I like fading a team after a 9-3 victory very, very much in every sport.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, here's one thing here, just random stat thing for you, Jim. Laval, right? They're trying to fight for a spot in the playoffs, but they just added Xhekaj's brother, Florian Xhekaj. They added him to a PTO, so they're going to try and get him in the playoffs here. We play them in a home and home. It's going to determine if we make the playoffs. So shout out to you, Slatsy. Maybe I'll be in Laval in a couple weeks from now, because if it comes down to that game, I might just send my ass up there. It's a big game. But yeah, Xhekaj, his brother, is now on Laval.
If you're driving, I'm interested. Let's move on. 8 p.m. Eastern, Winnipeg Jets. And you have a nice wheels as well. Ghost.
Yeah, it's kind of hurting. I got to get new tires, Jen. But anyway, I won't go into it.
48, 24-6, 23, 13-3 are the Winnipeg Jets. 4 wins in a row, seemingly turning it on at the right time. Yeah. At the Dallas Stars, 50, 20-9, 24, 10-4 at home. I think a lot of people believe they are the class of the Western Conference. Some people believe that they're the class of the NHL. I'm not quite there yet, but they're a very good hockey team. Hellebuck, and that's the Stars, not the Jets. Hellebuck, 35-19-4, 2.42 goals against average, 920 save percentage, 4 shutouts. Ottinger, 33-13-4, 2.81 goals against average, 903 save percentage, 3 shutouts. Now, he's got to step up if they want to go on a run, but he's done that before. Again, with the Stars, I still question their character at times, and, we saw it when they went to Chicago. I mean, this is a team that has won 10 of 11 games. The only game they lost against, one of the worst 2 or 3 teams in the league. Dallas power play 24.6%. Penalty 81.6%. The Jets coming off their 4th win, 4-3 in overtime at Nashville on Tuesday. They're still without Nino Niederreiter, but he's expected back soon. Should be good for the playoffs. Stars coming off their 2nd straight win. Hakanpää and Dodonov are out. They beat the Sabres 3-2 on Tuesday. Mm-hmm. Let's get into the line history here. We have Dallas right now at minus 151. They opened up at minus 143. So we do have a move, towards them. They've pretty much got it.
Dallas has, I think, got it locked in. And I was just going to say, Jim, they got Seattle their next game at home. If something like they get that win, they're locked in. Colorado, they're 5 back. So
yeah, they've got it. So then from a total stand, now they might want the President's Trophy. In case we want home ice in Stanley Cup Finals, but they're in great shape. This total is a 5.5 minus 117 to the over. This got up to 6 for a little while. It's back at 5.5, and I don't feel like I have and Billy's saying that a President's Trophy has been a curse. Tatiana says, "I love the Jets from Winnie." I love people from Winnipeg. I just great people. The cities, I can't say the same about the city, but the people I've always loved. From Winnipeg, and I used to love going to Winnipeg Comedy Festival all the time, in April. But here we go. I don't feel like I have an edge here. I just don't feel like I have an edge. I don't really want Dallas in this spot. I don't really want the Jets in this spot. These are 2 talented hockey teams. The Jets know that they still have a chance at home ice against whoever is in the 2nd seed. That's why Steve's saying that Colorado really needs Dallas to win, because the Jets have a game in hand and they're 2 points back. So exactly. This isn't appealing to me. Take it away for us here at Gogster Jets Stars.
Winnipeg's live. I'm doing first period here, Jim. I think it's not a letdown for Dallas, but they've kind of done what they needed to do to secure that 1 seed there. A really good game. I watched that game against Colorado, 7-4 win. They just jumped all over them from the start. Ottinger's starting to look a lot better. I wonder who's going to start here. Or maybe they give him a rest here.
Ottinger is confirmed from Billy Friedrich.
Okay, he is confirmed. Okay, and then we got Hellebuck in. They have been they're scoring goals again. Winnipeg 4-4, 5-4. winning all those games. This is a big game for them, in my opinion. I think they're going to kind of set the pace in this hockey game first period, Jim. They're going to come out a little more action, I think, than Dallas. So I took the first period. Guys already fired on Winnipeg. It's going to be plus 118. They've played 3 times this year, too. What happened? Dallas won all of those games. So tough to beat a team four times in a season, and also when one of them's kind of fighting for home ice. Both of them are, but give me the Winnipeg first period money line. And another thing, all 3 meetings have gone under 5.5, so kind of lean to the under as well. But I'm going to trust Winnipeg here to come out with some action in the first.
Yeah, I don't dislike it at all. I don't feel like I have an edge. Let's move on. And I do feel like I have an edge on my 4 bets right now, a real legitimate edge. And I'm trying hard not to make additions, but I'm not against them. 10 p.m. Eastern, San Jose Sharks 18, 51-9, 7-27-4 on the road at Seattle Kraken, 33, 31-13, 17, 17-6 at home at Climate Pledge Arena in Seattle, Washington. I think Sharks first periods are going to be a good bet for the remainder of the season, especially when they play against a team that doesn't care and it doesn't matter, especially when you're playing against a team that just won 5-0 at home versus Arizona. I think this all sets up nicely. Now, what is the problem in this bet would be that this is the final home game of the season for the Kraken. That's the only problem there. Do we expect then that the Kraken are going to, they know that they didn't deliver for their fans? Are they going to deliver here? That's the only thing that kind of keeps me off of. But I still am interested. I'm still interested, especially with Seattle coming off that 1-0 win. We got Mac Blackwood and Philly Grubauer listed. Blackwood, 900 save percentage, 2 shutouts, trying to resurrect his career. Grubauer has been quite a bit better of late. Both teams have very similar power play, and Seattle has got the better penalty killing. Sharks coming off their second straight loss, 4 of 5 games, 3-2 in overtime at home to the Flames on Tuesday. Jared McCann and Vince Dunn are both day-to-day for the Kraken. We need to see whether they're going to be in or not. So we need to see that. But there's our guy, DJ Big Boss, our who banging sports talk in the house.
Hey,
we love you. We love you, Big Boss. We love you, man. We love you. But so here, that's the only thing I would be looking for. And then the concern, of course, is what I mentioned, is that, final home game of the year. There's been 6 cents of movement towards the Kraken. It was a pretty clinical victory that they just had in that 5-0 win. This totals at 5.5. It's minus 101 to the under. This opened up at plus 105 to the under, and it got up to 6 for a little bit. So it's kind of yo-yoed and come back. And especially and I know that my subconscious is messing with me because I just cashed the Sharks first period against the Flames. So I know that that's a part of it too. So I'm trying to be wary of that. Take it away, Gogster.
Well, they smoked Arizona, and that's pretty much it. A moment of silence for Arizona, who are probably going to be moving to Utah by the looks of it.
God, I hope so.
It looks like it's already in the works. So sorry to Clint there. Hopefully, good seasons with the team. Still got Tucson, but yeah, just a little update there for you guys. Yeah, you know what, Utah, it's a hockey. They got an ECHL, Utah Grizzlies, and apparently they sell every single one of those out every year. So it's a good hockey town, I would imagine. But back to this game, both these teams are out. I got nothing on this one, short and sweet. Blackwood has been the better goalie, but he's coming off a bit of an injury here. I wouldn't talk anyone off that plus money on the first period with San Jose, kind of where you're getting at, Jim. 87% penalty kill for San Jose on the road I have here. So they're starting to play better defensively, just based on that number. So it's a pass game for me, but I'd lean towards San Jose.
I've interest in the Sharks first period. Let's go to the final game of the night in my 4th bet here with $400 on the -1 line. And it is the Los Angeles Kings I'm backing. I got a great price on the Kings, -1 at -121. I love that they went into Anaheim and laid an egg. Now, wait, let me rephrase that. I love it for this bet. I hate it for my futures. So I just, the fact that they just laid an egg at this time of year is not appealing, especially when they need to win here. Right now, the Knights are 1 point behind them, but the Knights are an absolute mess. And, I think as a group, we made a lot of money off the Oilers last night. But me personally, I should have made more money off the Oilers last night. But this is a great spot for the Calgary Flames. This is a great line. For the LA Kings. This is a great line for the Kings as well. The Kings are sitting at -184 now, so they've been a small move towards the Calgary Flames. Billy Friedrich loving the over 6 here. So Calgary comes in off snapping that 3-game losing streak. They're still missing Oliver Shillington and Joel Hanley. I love the Hanley pickup, by the way. I'm surprised that the Flames got him off of Dallas. And the Kings had their 3 winning snapped Anaheim. So, look, if the Kings don't come here and beat up on the Flames, if they don't do that, I'm going to be astonished. I was so certain they were going to do that against the Canucks. And I'd like to be certain here. And Bo Jackson says, careful with the Leafs tonight. They either lose tonight and bounce back against the Red Wings or win tonight and lose against the Red Wings. That's interesting, Bo. But for me, I just think, Bo, I'm just fading the Devils. They're a heartless group that Fitzgerald has put together. I'm going to fade them. But here, and if the Devils go up, I'm locked and loaded to live bet the Leafs.
I'm completely agreement.
Kings -1, -121 for me. Gogster, take it away. Final game on the card, then we get into MLB.
Final game, guys. Me and Jimmy, same boat again here. I'm taking the Kings in reg, though. I'm going to take them in reg there. I got it at -113. I already tweeted that one out, Gogster 99. Coming off that loss short, it's just kind of I wouldn't say no-brainer. Calgary, I don't trust this team for the most part, Jim. Quickly, I'll give you guys some numbers here from what I found. 22% power play, 27% power play. So both these teams have been scoring a bit on special teams. Advantage towards the Kings since March 1st. Goaltending wise, Talbot. This is a big game. Like, I would expect them to win. Like, they should win this game like a 4-1, 4-2, 3-1. Like, don't allow this. This can't be an over type of game for the Kings just because Talbot. He can't be this trend here, just .899 save percentage last 5 games, 2.85 goals against. Goals against isn't that bad, but you need a 900 save percentage at least, in my opinion, going into the playoffs. You want your goalie playing well. So this is a big game for Talbot, in my opinion. They're one up on Vegas, but like Jimmy said, Vegas is pretty depleted going into this playoff. So I'm in agreement here. Give me the Kings to lock in here off that bad loss to Anaheim.
Yeah. And I wasn't on that game against Anaheim, but I was astonished at what they delivered. So let's review all action. So we're going to start with Gogster's action, and then we'll go into Gogster's additions, and then we'll go into my action. Gogster's on the Panthers in regulation, combined with the under 7.5 at +100. He's on Tampa Bay money line combined with the under 7.5 at +115. He's on the Islanders money line combined with the under 6.5 at +150. He's on the Jets first period money line +118, and he's on the Kings in regulation at -113. Then he added the Capitals at +118, the Leafs -1 at -131, and he added the Flyers first period at +152. It's a big balls bet there. And no goal in the first 9.5 minutes of the Red Wings Pittsburgh Penguins game at +125. It's too bad Kopp's not there. It's really too bad that Kopp's not there. But I have 4 bets, and I really believe that I have a legitimate advantage with these 4 bets. We'll see how it bangs out. I'm 13-3 over my last 16 NHL bets plus 11.86 units. And sometimes when that happens, I start when I hit a bump, it's because I start really believing in favorites. But now is the time of year to do that. So we'll see how it bangs out, obviously, when we get here tomorrow. But this is my action here. I have... Where is it here? Penguins -1 at +108, Leafs -1 at -127, Islanders -1 at -138, Kings -1 at -121. And I expect them all to take care of business here. So the possible additions would be the under in Washington, Buffalo, and the under in Pittsburgh, Detroit. For that Pittsburgh, Detroit, I could have my first period under instead and correlate with Gogster.
I like that.
And then what I could do is if it's 1-1 or 2-0 after the first is I could live bet the under in that one. So I'm going to make those decisions on my own time. Look, I told you guys I was going to get to black, but whatever. Now we got to get healthy in the black. So we take it one step at a time. And, this is not, I don't want to be sitting here like congratulating myself to being up 0.22 units, but this was a hell of a battle to get back in business. Gogster, good luck in the Masters, my friend. Man. Go get that cash. Great job in our golf video, the Pub Cup, the first ever Pub Cup. So Canada will face America every year at Pubapalooza. And maybe it's more than 2 players on each side, and maybe there's 2 different teams. We'll figure that out as we move forward. But excellent job there, Gogster. Go get that cash, Gogster. Join me in the black. It feels nice up here. It feels really nice. Really.
Hey, man, I fired on some plays here. I think I got 9 now altogether. I had 5 before, but I just added 4 guys. So, but I'm pretty strong in these additions. If you've been watching, I think it's the most amount of additions I've added on a show. But all these ones are really standing out. Shout out to everyone in the chat, though. You guys are the best. Thanks for tuning in. Shout out to everyone in the Masters Thursday. Ronnie, Daryl Leonard, Old E, Jay Peasy, Daryl Turner, Perky. Shout out to Perky. Swig. Thanks as always for tuning in, Swig. Wine Time. Shout out to you, Wine Time. Met Wine Time in San Antonio. Billy, everyone else there in the chat. You guys are the best. We'll see you guys next Thursday. And tune in on my page there, guys. I'm going to have some live updates on the Masters and also some AHL hockey's in the works here. Calder Cup's coming up. So no shortage of action over at Gogster 99 there, guys. So be good. Take care and get that cash, Jim.
I love it, Mr. Gogster. And it's these 4 spots. Sorry, who asked me that? Leonard Porch Jr. It's these 4 spots. Now, I can understand what I've got no Frozen 4 action. I know Steve does, so let Steve lock it down. I understand psychologically why I did this. So we'll see if this also kind of affects me negatively. And the reason why I want to talk about psychologically is because it's so important, the decisions we make as gamblers. And that's why I talk about those books like The Undoing Project and Scorecasting and those books, because they're so about the mental side of things. I'm sure I added it because I felt like I didn't make enough money on the Oilers last night. And I think that things are really clear this time of year because some teams want it. Some teams have heart. Some teams have character. Some teams were built for this. And then some teams, are little bitches. So we'll see how it bangs out. But that's those 4 spots. Penguins -1, Leafs -1, Islanders -1, Kings -1. All right, let's get back to MLB here. We've like we thought that the Braves game's being pushed a little bit, but I'm in, and I've got my action correlated with Troy. So Jose still has the chance to join us if he wants with the game pushed. But I know he said no, but he still has the chance because Troy and I are both moving on it. Mally Mal saying move back to 12:52. Jose, my friend, just leaving it alone? You're just going to leave it alone? You muted my guy. There you go.
There we go. Just leaving it alone. Yeah, no, just leaving it alone. I don't have a bet today here so far. I don't know if I'm going to get one in. This is going to be weird. I'm trying to find one, but Jimmy, guess what? We're in a land of postponements. Brewers, Reds, postponed. Gonzo, done. Fucking Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, probably getting postponed. I mean, fuck. I might have to break my cardinal rule for the year. Jimmy, I might have to do it.
What's that?
We'll see. We'll get there when we get there. It's the last game of the card, but yeah, it might be one of those.
Choke? Yeah.
No, well, if I lose, I'm gonna definitely choke. Who knows about the jerking? But we'll see. Okay. We'll see.
If you want to, I'll leave the jerking and choking to you here. Rez Mob in the house. Ricky, Bobby, Troy, and I. Well, the same bet that we're on. We're both on the Mets first 5 plus a half. I'm also on the Mets first 3 money line. Yes, Rodney Barton is short delay. 12:52. Mally Mal says is the start. Oh, you're going to bet the Red Sox game. Oh, that's what you're talking about. I thought you were talking about just something different.
Jerking and choking.
Something more of a sexual variety. But let's get to work here. I
just found out what libido means, Jimmy. I mean, come on.
Oh, you're all grossed up, Jose. You're all grossed up. Okay, let's get to work here. 2:10 p.m. Eastern. We start with the Houston Astros 4-9, 2-4 on the road at the Kansas City Royals 8-4, 7-2 at home. We're at Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City, Missouri. So this is Troy's second bet, and it was immediately what I wanted to do. And then I thought to myself, Brady Singer's my guy, though. Well, how do I go up against Brady Singer? And I thought that Hunter Green might have a third straight excellent start. Yesterday's cap shouldn't have been so horrific for me. It shouldn't have been. It's just some bad. I'm not going to take it as like everything's going wrong here, but it's crucial to succeed here right now. And we know that Troy has moved on the Houston Astros. I mean, look at who Hunter Brown went up against, and look at who Brady Singer's gone up against. So Hunter Brown is going up against And I know the Royals are hitting well, but this is the easiest lineup he's faced. And then Brady Singer, this is the toughest lineup he's faced. So let's get into the line history here for this one. We're going to be using Pinnacle line moves. Houston right now sitting at minus 120. They opened up at minus 123. This was up to minus 132 at 10:25 in the morning, when at that point, you have a 9-cent move towards them. Now you have a slight move towards the home dog Royals. So it is a tricky. Obviously, it always depends on at what point.
So you had the move. Yeah, you had the move to the Royals.
Now, 3 cents.
Okay. It's interesting. Yeah, because I had this line opening up, or the side I had it opening up at like minus 108, or sorry, minus 120 now, and I had some sites at minus 130.
Yes, no, and that's still happening. It's Pinnacle that's just made this move back to the Kansas City Royals.
Man,
here. So, BJ says disagree with Troy's Royals are nothing. Too hot to fade. Singer money at home. Astros bullpen stinks, but didn't officially bet it. Brent Cook on the Royals plus 1.5 here, and so let's set this up. And Perky saying Jose's a huge Astros guy. Come on, Jose, get on this side. Troy Torrance is home dogs between plus 105 and plus 120. Market moving towards the home team, especially when it's reverse line movement. It hurts them. So here we go. This total sitting at 8.5, opened up at 9, so we have a half-point move to the under. So, not a ton of implied volatility. Let's get to the weather here in Kaufman. It's nice, but the wind is heavy. 59 Fahrenheit, 21.1 miles per hour, right to left. 21 miles per hour. So we need to ask Dabby again, and I know he's done this once before, but Dabby's going to be. Dabby's joining us. We need to ask him what are his thoughts with. And he's got the next game joining us. He's with the Rangers. A's Rangers. So we'll ask him there. There's Mikey Money in the house. So Hunter Brown, 0-1, 6.43 ERA, 2.57 whip, 7 innings, 12 hits, 8 Ks, 6 walks, 1 homer. His first start was strong, right? It was against the Yankees. Now he didn't go deep, but it was he didn't allow a run, I believe. I don't have it in front of me. His last start, he got lit up. It cost me money. Texas was all over him. 3 innings, 8 hits, 5 runs, 1 homer, 4 walks. Brady Singer's been nothing short of spectacular. Who did he just shut down? The Chicago White Sox. I'm interested. I'm very interested in Houston. Let's take a look at the cash flow here for this one. We have on the total 55% of tickets and 99% of cash on the under. That makes sense to me. On the money line, the sharp action is on Houston, 54% of tickets, 87% of cash, and the line's not moving towards them. So, I don't know. Maybe I take it away, Jose. Astros Royals.
Yeah, it's a tough game for me too. I just go back to the note I wrote down from Troy a week ago. He's already put it in the chat once today. Home dogs from plus 105 to like plus 120. And the line moving towards them, especially reverse line movement, I believe Troy says. 49-17 to the road team, 31-7 to the under. 31-7 with a total under 9. So it's tough. I definitely leaned Royals when I first started the cap, truthfully, because I've been kind of anti-Astros all year. And it's just hard to do that 180 flip. So I probably
can you give me that total information again from Troy? I can't find it. Can you hit me with the total?
It's if the total is under 9, the team is 31-7. Or the road team.
Oh, so it's still about the side. It's just okay. Sorry.
Yeah, So if the total's under 9, 31-7 to the road team still. Yeah, so I really do want to take the Royals here, honestly. But, I think I'm off this game, too. The market's kind of confusing to me. Hunter Brown coming off getting crushed by the Rangers. I'm sure there's a lot of get-back potential for him here. I definitely do lean under as well, but I don't want to be betting aside with 99% of the money on it. So, yeah, I stayed off this game, too. But I did a lot of, back and forth on this game especially.
This total is nuts. The first 5 opened up at 4.5, heavily juiced to the over, and then it gets up to 5. When it moved to 4.5, it was at 9 a.m. Under 4.5 was plus 106. Now under 4.5 is minus 116. A huge move to the first 5 under. Huge move to the first 5 under. Joe Yurkovich, thank you. And I won't reply. Jose. Wine Time says these Astros are getting older and more washed. Why? Okay, I think Hunter Brown's going to have a bounce back start. So
Yeah,
I should move on the under because look at the expectation for Brady Singer. 12-2 straight up, 14-0 run line as a home dog. If it's not Friday, Brady's teams are winning by almost 4 runs. Give me KC.
it's kind of similar what I did yesterday with the I think it was yesterday with Nola and Lance Lynn. I didn't trust Lance Lynn to really get the job done for me, but the market said that he was going to pitch well, excuse me. So I just took the full game under and let it ride. Now in that game, the total was 8, moved down to 7.5. Made me feel a little better about it. And then in this game, Jimmy, we have a little bit of different information, but that's just because we use different books to look at openers and such as well. So I had this game at a 9 and actually dropped down to 8.5 now. So that drop down to 8.5 happened at 11:52.
Yeah, I gave those exact things.
Yeah.
9, 8.5.
yeah, I'd probably be on the under here as well. But I mean, like we say, I don't like being on those 99% spots with all the money. But at least the line's moving down with it.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, a huge bet's come in. I'm very interested in moving on the first 5 under 4.5. I'll have to, to be easy. It's just one bet. I'll have to bet it while we're breaking this down. But I'd like to ask Daby Cab 21, 22 mile per hour winds, slightly in. Is that going to help your movement? Is that going to help you? Let's do that. So let's bring him on because he's got action here in this next game on the board. We're moving on to A's Rangers. Please welcome from Dallas, Texas, our guy and yours, Mr. Daby Cab. How are you?
Oh, I'm good. I'm a little frustrated that Brewers game got canceled because I was really looking forward to fading Nick Martinez, but he'll pitch tomorrow. I'll fade him tomorrow.
Absolutely. You'll get that opportunity tomorrow. So here we go. Can you answer the question about the 21, 22 mile per hour wind going across? So it was right to left, slightly in. How does that affect your pitcher?
So right to left. All right. Right to left, slightly in. Right-handed pitcher or left-handed pitcher? Who are you asking about?
Well, you're right. That's very well. Let's start with Hunter Brown, the righty.
Okay, it's going to help a righty if it's at this bat going right to left. It's going to hurt a lefty if it's going across. So think of it like this. I mean, I know this is simple physics, but I like to think of the slider.
Oh, they're both righties. Why did I think Singer was a lefty for a second? Sorry, my bad. They're both righties.
Okay, so both righties. Then it's going to help the pitching. So I would lean towards the under. Look, it's simple physics, but look at it like this, right? I always think of the slider when I think about how wind's going to affect things because the slider is the best pitch in baseball, in my opinion. If you're throwing it with it, it's going to help it, break more. Let's say you're throwing it into the wind, it's going to hold it up, and that's what you don't want. It really is that simple.
Huh.
Does that make sense? So if it was going left to right, it would hold a slider up.
Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense. I'm still trying to decide whether or not I'm going to.
I'll roll with the first 5 under with you, Jimmy.
I'm comfortable there. I'm trying to figure out whether I take the Astros here. That's my issue.
I'm moving my first official bet there. First 5 under 4.5. I have it at minus 115.
Okay, so that's a great answer and very helpful. No King Al. Houston's not public. 54% of the tickets, but the big bets have come in on them. So it's 87% of the cash, which is tricky. So, okay. So that I'm going to move on this first 5 under 4.5. I'm going to move on it here while we hear the breakdowns from our two gentlemen in the next spot. 2:35 p.m. Billy Friedrich has given us a pig milk play of the day. Texas Rangers minus 1.5 at plus 107. He also says the same for punks. So keep that in mind if you want to rock it. And Troy Torrence says, sorry. Morgan Spooner is also on Texas first 5 minus 0.5. He's also on Kansas City first 5 money line. A's Rangers here at Globe Life in Arlington, Texas. First, let's pull up the weather in Texas. 68, it opens at first pitch, 71 clear. So the roof will be open. The roof will be open. We have JP Sears going up against John Gray. Let's get into the line history here for this one. I got the first 5 up, so I'll talk about that right now. This total is at 5. It's minus 106. Oh, God, sorry. It's gone way up in the last hour. Sorry. Minus 119 to the over. Now, this came crashing down. So this opened up over 5 at minus 121. At 8:17 in the morning, or 8:19 in the morning, this was over 5 at plus 104. There'd been 25 cents of movement to that first 5 under. It's come all the way back. So public hammering this over now, but it hasn't moved, is what's happened with that. Now let's take a look at the full game and see if there's any difference here. It's 9.5 minus 104 to the over. It opened plus 101 to the over, so we've had 5 cents of movement to the over. Now to the money line here, we have, pull this up. We have Texas at minus 179. They opened up minus 175. That's 4 cents of movement towards the Texas Rangers. Not a lot of movement. Let's take a look at the cash flow then for this one. We have 78% of the tickets and 40% of the cash on the Texas Rangers. So they're a public spot, but the big bets are coming in on the A's, which we've seen every single game the A's have played. And those guys are making money right now. The A's have been playing pretty well. I'd have to go overall because they're 4-8. So, I mean, I'm sure the average line's not plus 200, but, they got off to a kind of a poor start and they looked better last 6 or 7 games. From cash flow on the total, you have 40% of tickets and 70% of cash on the under. Daby Cab, it's best bet time. Floor is yours. Take it away.
All right, so as we know, yesterday we did not get there with Seager, anybody that was here. So I'm now 5-3 betting his prop this season. And I have something, it goes back towards last season with LJ. Shout out to our guy, LJ. Anytime Seager doesn't get a hit, we roll with him the next game, and it has cashed at, I want to say, like an 85% clip going back to last season. Just unbelievable. I don't think I'm going to get there, though. And for anybody wondering why, I talked about it yesterday. Seager only has 1 double and only 1 home run so far this season. So it's been all base hits. That's why his average is so high. He was rolling over everything, rolling it over to the second baseman yesterday, and he's been rolling over all season. That's why he doesn't have very many extra base hits. He's just been able to find the gaps or find the holes with it. So as much as it kills me not to go back to it today, got a whole season, and I'm probably going to bet him at least 35 times. Today, I'm just going to stay off of Seager, so I'm not going to bet it today. Anybody who's going back to the well with that trend, though, I completely understand, and I think you probably are making a good bet. Where I'm going to look is the total. And I don't like to hear that everybody's hammering this over and it hasn't moved. But, everybody was hammering the Rangers yesterday. And I sat here and talked about how I thought the taint play of the day was a good bet yesterday for 5 minutes and then didn't bet it. And, 90-something% of the cash was there and it cashed. So today I'm going to just go with it. I'm taking the first 5 over 5. Sears is one of those guys that people really like to get behind. They like to have, I think they have some inkling that he's got the potential to do what Blackburn's done for them with the A's, but he doesn't. Sears sucks. I mean, I'm just gonna say it how it is. You look at last game against Detroit, 5 innings, gave up 6 hits. You look at his first game against Cleveland, 3 innings, 3 2/3 innings, whatever, gave up 6 hits. You go into last year, last year a 4.54 ERA, so it wasn't terrible. But again, look at his innings pitched, 172, and he gave up 165 hits. This is the type of pitcher that's, giving up at least 1 hit per inning usually. And with a team that's hitting like the Rangers, that's dangerous. This team's hitting 280 as a unit, right? Right now, they're second in the league with the second highest batting average. I think they get to Sears. I like the Rangers team total over, but I'm going to keep it simple, and I'm going to do what I did last year. Anytime I like the Rangers with John Gray on the mound, I take the over in the first 5. It's that simple. John Gray's on the mound, first 5 over with the Rangers here. Rangers A's.
All right, first 5 over. Did you tweet this out?
I did, yes.
Oh, my bad for missing it. What was the juice that you got?
Minus 105.
So first 5 over 5 minus 105 for Daby Cab. Let's hear what Jose Bouquett thinks about this spot. Rangers, A's, and touch on your feelings on JP Sears because he's going to be someone we need to figure out as the season moves forward. Take it away.
Yeah, he has sucked dick and balls this year so far. I still believe in him, though. I think he'll probably be the second best pitcher on the A's, him and Paul Blackburn will probably battle that out for him.
So what?
I think, it's not saying much. I just can't get behind Sears today. I think the Rangers will probably be too good of an offense. By the way, Corey Seager against lefties this year, I believe 0 for 5. I was trying to look this up to find it so far because I was like, oh, wow, Daby's obviously going to be on Corey Seager, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, he's 5 plate appearances and he's basically got nothing off of him. So very interesting. Maybe he can get to Sears today, but I had nothing on this game. We'd probably lean over with Daby Cab, but the market was kind of telling me that the A's might be live here again. But I looked at a team total and it was a little high for me. So no action here for me as well.
So when I talk about Seager rolling over the ball, it's why he's struggling with lefties right now, because that ball's coming in from the left side. Anytime you're rolling over, you're going to struggle hitting lefty on lefty. So that plays into exactly what I've been saying.
I moved on the first 5 under 4.5. Houston KC minus 115 at Bet365. I sent it in. It's minus 116 at the Pinnacle. Minus 116 at Pinnacle. So it was sent better sending it in. Cabs on the first 5 over 5 at minus 105. Piglock play today. Texas Rangers minus 1.5 at plus 107. And we move on. I honestly, I did have a little bit of interest in the A's early, but after the breakdown, I'm comfortable moving off of it. Let's move on to 6:40 p.m. Eastern with the Pittsburgh Pirates 9-3. And look at this, Mel. When you come in with these spots here, it's when we have the same spot. I mean, we're just crushing. Like I'm telling you, when you come in, you're like, I love the Avalanche today, and I'm on the Avalanche. I don't have the numbers in front of us, but ROI is very good. And I'm right with you. I do think that the Leafs, I really like the Leafs spot to smash the Devils again, that heartless group. But I love reading that, Mel. Let's get the fucking money, Mel. So here we have Phillies, Pirates, the Battle of Pennsylvania. Let's get into the weather here for this one. We have 68 Fahrenheit. Why would I have no precipitation? I have no precipitation there on Swish. I thought someone was saying that this game might not go.
Yeah, RotoWire had it in red, so that's I mentioned that it might not go here as well.
Okay.
And Perky's saying rain delays as well. The chat, and we know Perky's on that shit when it comes to the weather.
It makes me so hesitant to bet games whenever the weather, just because regardless of if it's a total or a side, like if I bet something and then I find out my pitcher has to sit for 35 minutes extra before he gets loose, just anything like that. I hate it. Yeah.
Do you want to expand on that? Because do you think that the volatility increases a bunch?
Oh yeah.
And who do you think it's more volatile towards, the pitcher who's been waiting or the offense that's been sitting there?
So the hitters are fine. Okay. I'm going to say that right now. The hitters will be fine when you're in a delay. They're no big deal. They can go into the cage under the bullpen or under the dugout. They can go into the cages, whatever. The hitters are fine. It's the pitcher who has a routine that and so I get pitching lessons, right? And any of my pitchers who are a starting pitcher, every week before they go out and start, we work on their routine. Having your routine down is one of the most important things to pitching, like how you stretch, how you get loose, how many pitches you throw before you go on the mound, how many everything's fine-tuned. And when you sit for 30, 40 minutes, it's all thrown off. So then it becomes, the mental makeup of the pitcher sometimes. And look, I know it sounds like a shitty excuse, but I've personally been in that situation. My very first start in college, not my first time pitching, but my first start was against Texas State. And we were at Texas State. There's a 40-minute fucking rain delay before I got to get loose, or I got loose, and then there was a 40-minute rain delay, and then we played the first inning. And I threw all right, but I'm telling you, I hate that, man. And I hate it for anybody. If I'm betting, it's just something I want to stay away from.
Important information. It's just what's such a asset having you here with us day to day. Let's talk about Jared Jones. We went off on our expectations of Jared Jones, second round pick, out of high school. This kid is really good, man. Really, really talented. And probably be a big part of this rotation as we move forward. 3.86 ERA, 0.94 WHIP, 17 Ks and 11 2/3, 17 Ks and 2 walks. How's that for your K to walk ratio? Now he has allowed a couple jacks, but he's a kid. Last start, a 5-2 loss at home over the Orioles. He was great. 6 innings, 6 hits, 2 earned runs. They were both solo shots. Those were the 2 home runs he's allowed this year. 7 Ks, no walks. Then we have Ranger Suarez. We know we can trust him in the most important games, but can we trust him in the beginning of the year? 4.09 ERA, but the whip spectacular. 11 innings, 11 Ks, 1 walk. And he looked really good in that 5-2 win at the Nationals. 2 earned runs over 6 innings. So let's take a look at the line history here and then hand it over to our guys. Cab, we only have 2 games left here, and I know your spot is Orioles, Red Sox, but we'd love to have you stick around here for these last 2 games. Let's get into the line history here. From a money line standpoint, we have Suarez and the Phillies at minus 139. They opened up at minus 143. So, 4 cents of movement there. And then from a total, I got to move this over again. From a total perspective, we're sitting here with that's not Pinnacle, my fault. We're sitting here with a 9.5. They're the first book to move it there. So this line's been all over the place. So it opens up at 9, heavily juiced to the under. It goes down to 8.5, and then there's this huge move towards the over. Pinnacle's the only book that's hanging at 9.5 right now. We know how sharp they are. Then from a cash flow look, we have it's 50-50 on the total, but Pinnacle thinks their sharp bettors are taking the over, or maybe we don't need. It's not a black and white thing, but 69% of the tickets and 98% of the cash on the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Wow.
Jesus, I did not expect to read that. We'll start with Jose, and then we'll go over to Daby Cab. This is not one of Daby's best bets. We're going to keep him around for it. Take it away, Jose. Pirates, Phillies.
Yeah, Jared Jones has been good. Just flat good. 6 innings, 6 hits, 2 earned runs on 2 home runs against the Orioles. 5 2/3, 3 hits, 3 earned runs, 10 Ks, 2 walks against the Miami Marlins in his first start. And Rangers also been pretty solid in his own right as well. I did lean Pirates, admittedly, and we can talk about Pirates against lefties. So far this year, again, small sample size, but it's 165 plate appearances for them, 139 weighted runs created plus, 3rd best in the league. That's pretty surprising, especially because, it's how many plate appearances it is. It's the 7th most plate appearances against lefties, and they're by far the highest in there of all of these as well. By the way, again, Miami Marlins against lefties, 232 plate appearances, a 32 weighted runs created plus. Horrible. Now, I'm assuming that's a lot of nasty Nestor Cortez, but yeah, that's horrible. So I admittedly do lean towards the Pirates here, but this is just another one of those spots, Jimmy, that I didn't want to be on a spot with 99% of the money on it. I mean, again, at least the market's moving in my direction, which makes me feel a little better about it. But this was another no play for me, unfortunately. And with the rain delays coming in and out, potentially, who knows? Just not a spot I wanted to be on here. Maybe a team total here again, but I think I would trust Jared Jones enough to go first 5 or full game, but nothing here for me.
Yeah, I would like to be involved if we weren't sitting there wondering whether the game is going to start or when it's going to, when the tarp's going to come out. I mean, Daby Cab, what are your thoughts here, Pirates, Phillies?
I was going to say the same thing. I wonder if the book's leaning towards that over has to do with that rain delay that we're talking about. I mean, I guarantee you that has something to correlate here because, with these 2 guys going, I think the first initial look would probably be under. Both these guys have been pitching well. I tell you what, man, hearing that 98% of the cash is on the Pirates and you got Suarez on the mound at home with the Phillies, shit, that's tempting to just go ahead and back the Phillies on the market alone. I'm not going to do it because of the weather. That's it. For me, I'm off this game because of the weather, but I'd lean Phillies here. You're getting a decent price on Suarez at home. Pirates are just one of the hottest team in baseball right now. I mean, god damn, they've been playing so well. They've won every series. They won their series against the Orioles. And, this Phillies team just hasn't started to click yet. I mean, a lot of people, I think, have futures on Phillies and think this Phillies team, has the potential to make a run this year, maybe win the World Series. And I agree. I got no problem with that. But right now, they're not there.
Yeah, I'm comfortable moving on because we have a game that will go. Just fog is the only issue on the last game. So Let's go. And we have best bet cabbie time. We got a 5-game NBA card coming up. Troy Torrence ready to rock and roll with us, sitting in the wings right now. And we got that huge NHL card that we've hammered. So let's roll. TJ says Suarez much worse at home last 2 years. ERA nearly 5 versus near 3 on the road. And then Christopher Tatum gave us a great look with Pirates top 10 in isolated power against lefties. Let's roll on. 7:10 p.m. Eastern. We have the Baltimore Orioles 7-4, 3-2 on the road. The Boston Red Sox 7-5, 0-2 at home. Fenway Park in Boston, Massachusetts. We have Grayson Rodriguez, who I'm just enormously high on, against Garrett Whitlock, who's looked very good this year. Let's get into the line history. With the weather, I told you the fog is the only issue. It's 5.8 miles per hour in. Stays between 5.8 and 4.9 throughout the game. So the wind, non-issue and not a factor. Nasty Nate says Red Sox smash. Let's take a look at the line history here for this one. And Daby Cab will get us started, as this is best bet time for him. Grayson Rodriguez and the Orioles open up at -104. They're now -118. A 14-cent move towards the Baltimore Orioles and Grayson. Then from a total side of things, we have an 8.5 at a pick'em. This opened up at 9. Opened up at 9 at 3:53 p.m. And you could have got that under up until 9:08 p.m. when it moved to 8.5. But it didn't jump back up this morning. Wow. So there's a bit of U-shaped movement. You could have got that 9 again at Pinnacle between 7:37 and 8:13 a.m. And now we're sitting at an 8.5 at a pick'em. So we've moved down a half run. Remember, it was originally juiced to the under, so it's not that big of a move. But the move on the side to the Orioles is a big one. Let's take a look at the cash flow here for this one. 68% of the tickets and 86% of the cash on the Baltimore Orioles. So public and bigger bets on them and market moving towards them. Then we have 20% of the tickets, but 97% of the cash on the under. Good God. Did not expect to see that, but it has moved down a half run. So here we go. Mikey Money says favorites off a win after trailing in the 5th inning are 13-1 straight up if they either lost the second to last meeting by 1 or less, or they won outright. There you go. That would be.
How the fuck does somebody even keep that? They're like, oh, it's the 5th inning now. Let me get my fucking notes out. Like,
it's all in Mikey Money's diary. I don't know if you've ever read it, but it's all in that diary, right under his pillow.
After the 5th inning, when the sun's down, if the wind's blowing at 12 miles per hour, a team that scored 5 runs 3 weeks ago is less likely to score 2 runs this inning.
I do find it all humorous, but he's been making so much money on the Florida Panthers unders on Thursday nights. It's the most ridiculous thing. Mikey, what are you? You're 17-1 on them? I think he's 17-1 on Florida Panthers unders on Thursdays, which is like the most crazy. And of course, that's the your sister's wearing your grandma's panties again play of the day. And Bo Jackson says knowledge is power. Thank you, Bo.
Ron.
Thank you, Bo. Thank you.
Oh, I'm not hating on it, by the way.
No,
I love fucking with Mike. I'm not hating on it.
It makes it fun. 17-1 to the under on Thursdays for the Panthers. I mean, have you ever heard of more? And I'm sure probably in Gogster's on the other too. I bet you guys are going to do. But Grayson Rodriguez, I'm very high on him. I loved his trajectory last year. I loved him coming up to the show, thinking he was the man, top 5 prospect in baseball, gets lit up and smoked, goes down to the minors, sits and pines to be back in the show, gets that opportunity and steps up throughout the rest of the season. He's the real deal. I'm very high on him. 2.0, 2.19 ERA, 1.05 whip, 16 Ks and 12 in the third, 3 walks, beautiful K to walk ratio, has allowed 3 jacks. That's not great. His last start, 5-2 win at Pittsburgh. We know what Pittsburgh's been doing with the sticks. He took care of them, 6 in the third, 6 hits, 2 earned runs. They were solo shots, 7 Ks and 2 walks. Garrett Whitlock has been very good this year. I can't wait to hear your breakdowns on Garrett Whitlock from both of you guys. And I know Jose keeps a very close eye on young Whitlock. 0.96 ERA, 1.18 whip, 12 Ks and 4 walks. Hasn't allowed a jack. His last start at the Angels, 4 in the third, 4 hits, 4 Ks, 4 walks, but did not allow a run. Fanatical Jim says he forgot it was Panthers under day. Yeah, it is. Take it away, Daby Cab. Best bet. We want baseball action tonight. So what is your look?
You said 20-something% of the bets, but 90-something% of the money is on this under, huh? Wow.
Yeah, let's go back there. 20% of the tickets and 97% of the cash on the under. And it has moved from 9 to 8.5. The interesting thing, though, was that Pinnacle brought it back to 9 again at 7:40 in the morning, which is very, very interesting. But take it away.
So I tell you what, I do like this under. I never like being on that percentage of cash, but it does feel a little bit better whenever it's only like 20-something% of the bets, right? This is a pitcher's duel right here. You touched on it. One thing Rodriguez does is he gives up the long ball. It's because he throws hard, right? But the weather is going to play a little bit, to help keep the ball in the yard here. If we're getting foggy, if we're getting a little bit of rain, light rain, that's going to help him keep the ball in the yard. And I know that the Fenway Park, shout out to whoever put it in the chat just a minute ago, plays to the over, is very true. It definitely plays to the over. But I mean, both of these pitchers are, sub 2 ERA on the season. I know it's very, very early, but they've looked great in both of their first two outings. The Orioles, they really haven't started to hit yet. Each of these teams, both of these teams are hitting under 240 right now. They're lacking production from their key players, especially the Red Sox. So I think this, this weather is going to help play towards the under. And I trust both of these pitchers. So I'm going to go first 5 under here, Jimmy. And that's it.
I'm interested in this first 5 under as well. Did you tweet this out?
I have not yet. So there you go. Here's one for the show for everyone.
I will line shop for you on the first 5 under. By the way, Doug says the Panthers are also 17-1 to the under when his ball sack is laying on his left thigh instead of his right thigh, but that's only if it's Wednesday or Saturday.
Fair.
Jose, take it away. What are your thoughts on Garrett Whitlock? I kind of want to be with the public on this one.
Yeah, I'm a little concerned because admittedly I did want to move on the Red Sox today. I think the line opening at -108 was I don't know if it's wrong or what. I just think that's weird. That's what I had on my site, and then it goes up to -114. I think -120 probably where it should have been the whole time.
Because Pinnacle opened it at -104, so I imagine it's Bet Online that opened it up at -108.
I thought that was just so weird.
Yeah, they did.
And I was like, okay, whatever. And then they immediately go to 114 and then -120. So I was like, wow, how are people not just all over the Orioles here today? And predictably they are. And I feel like this line just isn't moving enough, really. If there's going to be a shitload of money on the Orioles here, I feel like it should go up to -130 or even higher. But this would be a spot where I'd wait if you're going to bet the side, but I do like the under in this game, and I think I'm going to roll with Daby on the first 5 under here. Now, let's talk about Grayson. He's pitched against the Red Sox before at Fenway. I think it was actually his first start. I don't remember exactly, honestly. I feel like it was early, but 4 1/3, 7 hits, 4 runs, only 2 of them earned. Whitlock has not faced the Orioles in a start since 2022. He was a little reliever and has faced them as primarily a reliever. But he went 6 innings, 2 earned runs on that one start in 2022. So I definitely do like a first 5 under here, and specifically first 5 because the Orioles did use up a lot of their bullpen yesterday. I'll go to it now. I was on the Red Sox here, but let's talk about the Orioles first. For example, my guy, Craig Kimbrell, he pitched only 13 pitches, so I could see him pitching today. But they still only use Keegan Aiken and Mike Bauman. They still have like Cano's fully rested as well. And I expect Kimbrell to be available if it's a lower scoring close game. So I do kind of like a first 5 under here. I will say the Red Sox bullpen, though they used up like Chris Martin, who's their best reliever, he kind of shit the bed yesterday, but it wasn't really his fault. The Red Sox bullpen is kind of healthy as well with Greg Weissert, Slayton, and Kenley available today, I'm assuming, if he doesn't wake up with a bad back. So I might double up on first 5 and full game unders here.
Wow. Wine time on the full game under. So this might turn into a double up spot for you. What's keeping you off of the Orioles? BJ's all over the Red Sox. I think this is a great buy low spot on the Red Sox. What's keeping you? Well, give me a Garrett Whitlock breakdown. Not necessarily today, but as we move forward, because he's pitching. Look at that 0.96. I mean, he's only throwing 9 1/3, but he looks.
What's funny is that you say that he's been pitching really well, and to me, he's been kind of like just okay. His first start was great, sure, but 4 1/3, not nearly long enough 4 hits is fine. No earned runs great, but 4 Ks, 4 walks. There's just a lot of traffic in that Angels start, and it easily could have gone south for him. So I don't know what to expect from him, and it's been interesting because the Red Sox pitching, we have a whole new pitching philosophy with Andrew Bailey, and like Garrett dominated his first start with just throwing, like a lot of sinkers and not throwing straight fastballs. And then the last start, it kind of got away from that and struggled a little bit, walked people, and it was a lot because he couldn't locate his sinker.
I was about to say he's sinker reliant. Anybody that's sinker heavy, if you can't land that sinker, it's going to be a tough day. I hate the way he delivers the baseball. I hate it. I can tell you right now, I wouldn't get a hit off of him. It's so fucking awkward, and you can't pick the ball up out of his hand. I would hate to hit off of him.
Yeah, and I'll tell you that he's been starter reliever for the last 3 years, which is worrisome. But I just don't know what to expect from him going forward, really. And I am worried. Like I said, he's been good, statistically ERA wise, but when you look at it, it's just a lot of traffic. And with a better team than the Angels last time out, those 4 walks, 4 hits, and 4 innings could have gone much more poorly. So that's concerning, but the market is saying that it's going to be an under kind of game here, and I think the fog and the weather definitely is going to help him today.
So when will we know if you move on this before the end of the show? Or are you going to just sit and?
I'm doing it right now. I'm writing it down and tweeting it, or not tweeting it out, betting it as we speak. I'm getting 8.5. Yeah, 8.5 minus 110, and I'll let you know about first 5 here in a few minutes.
You didn't fully answer why you're not on the Orioles.
It's too public. I think it's too public, and again, I think the line should be moving more, should be up higher than minus 120 at this point. If it's 68% of the bets.
Jimmy wants the truth. He doesn't want to hear the lies. Tell the truth. Say, because I want to bet the Red Sox, Jimmy. Just say
I already said I was close to betting the Red Sox here. It was going to be the first time I bet the Red Sox all year.
Thank you.
Okay, so then let me ask you this. What was the angle why you wanted to fade the Orioles today?
Grayson, I don't think, first of all, the Red Sox bats obviously can get to him. They've done it before at Fenway Park in the start last year. And is he much different from then? I don't really think so. Not yet, at least. And again, Garrett Whitlock, again, not a history of success with the Orioles in starts, but in those relief roles has dominated them. So again, I'll keep saying it. I like the under in this game. I think it's going to be a low scoring game, but I don't think the Grayson Rodriguez pitches that great today, to the fact where I think that the Orioles can win this game confidently, and B, I just believe in the Red Sox pitching staff a little bit more here.
All right. Okay. Well, we have
Billy. I'm not betting on the Red Sox. I'm betting on their games. I'm just betting unders and such. Much different than betting on the Red Sox.
We have Daby Cab on the first 5 under 4.5. I'm very interested in it, and I'm very interested in the Orioles first 5, as I think that the numbers don't fully indicate where Garrett Whitlock is. And I think you kind of back that up, Jose. So, but I don't know if I'm going to take some more time before I decide to get there. I have made 3 bets on the card and 2 have started. What the hell's going on in that? I mean, no one said anything about the baseball game, so it can't be going too yet. 1-0 Mets.
Wow, that was good timing.
I need this.
Yeah, no, but I'm on it officially. Under 8.5 minus 110. First 5 under 4.5 minus 115. Joe
Yurkovich cashing that Mets run first inning thing of goddamn beauty. Sorry, say that again, Jose. I'm blinded by the possibility of getting the. It's fucked up. And these days have been getting off to great starts, and then I leave you guys, and God, everything fell apart for me yesterday. It was just horrific.
4.5 minus 115 for the first 5 under. Yeah,
I like it. God damn, I like it. Okay, so smooth balls played. Oh no, that game's canceled. Let's go over action. So we have 2 games on right now. Houston, KC. I took the first 5 under 4.5. I got that at minus 115. Cabs on the first 5 over 5 in Oakland, Texas. Pig milk play today. Texas Rangers minus 1.5 plus 107. And Pirates, Phillies. We don't know if it's. I mean, we'll see how the weather bangs out. But Cab on the first 5 under 4.5. Jose doubling up on the first 5 under 4.5 and the full game under 8.5. And I'm very interested in the Orioles first 5 and the first 5 under 4.5. Billy
By the
Friedrich
way,
says,
shout out to Res Mob betting Seager under 1.5 bases, putting his nuts on Dabby's fucking nose right there.
no, Dabby's not on it today.
That
I
sounds like
know,
he
but
lit-
that's his
that
guy. That's his guy, Dabby. That's your number one right there.
No, but
that's your captain.
It gave him
sounds like-
confidence.
Yeah, it sounds like Res Mob listened to me. That's what it sounds like.
Gave him confidence because Dabby's not on.
Oh, 0 for 5 against lefties. So
yeah.
I tell you what, Garcia is a good look today against Sears. I thought about getting there with the 1.5 bases for Garcia, and I still might.
Speaking of a Garcia, do you guys see Jimmy Garcia last night? How good he looked. 99. He threw the fastest pitch of his entire career.
It's crazy, man. I'm telling you, it's not steroids anymore, but it's something.
99 fastest pitch. He's going to be such a big part of our bullpen up here, and thank God because our bullpen is trash. Okay,
yeah, he's gonna be better than what's his name, Romano.
Here we go. My dude says anytime Justin Lawrence comes on for the Rockies, he gets rocked. Rockies on his fade list because Bud Black, worst manager in baseball.
I read Troy Torrance first. I was like, damn, Troy Torrance is out for the Rockies right now.
There we go. That is MLB. Now tomorrow is just I fear the amount of work that has to go get in the next 24 hours, but we will do it. And when we get pushed with all this work, we rise to the occasion like we did on Tuesday with that monster day. All right, here, Joe Yerby said you can't trust bets from a guy with no bat.
I agree.
That's fair. That's fair. What can I say? My hat's off to you.
Yeah,
$25, by the way, in nachos for this goddamn helmet. $25 in nachos.
Oh, you look great in it. You look like John Olerud playing first.
You can
Thank
get
you.
Garcia all the way down at minus 105 for over 1.5 bases. That I very likely will make that bet in the next hour. I'll let you know.
I was shooting for Tino Martinez.
Yeah, we were trying to figure out why does he look challenged, and it's because there's no ear flaps. That's why.
Yeah,
No
that's
ear
the
flaps.
Tino Martinez.
Yeah.
You know, come on. I actually like Tino Martinez. Shout out to him.
Perky says he won't be happy with Jose until the eye black comes out. He requested.
Yeah, you're
several
right.
times.
He wants me. He wants me to go full kit wanker.
If you have a real bad day, or maybe 2 days in a row, then you should come in. Be right.
Yeah, eye black. I'll have a fucking big league chew and I'll throw in a chaw and everyone will be happy with ourselves. So
Troy chews enough for all of us, man. We don't need.
that's true. That's right. But shout out to all of us for not drinking Troy's dip spit this weekend. shout out to all of us. We did it, guys. We did it. And by the way, after a long hard work on the golf videos, the cornhole videos are going to start being made here soon. And
oh, nice.
And that's where Daby Cab and Troy Torrance shine.
Oh, nice. That'll be fun. And just to make us feel really good about our action, Billy Friedrich has come in and said that Braves are going to tie this up in the bottom of the half. The bottom half first inning.
I'm not going to say anything negative towards Billy Friedrich because he'll snap us in half. He can lift all of us, he can put us on his shoulders and just fucking.
We're a big group, man. We're a big group of captains.
Yeah, and he's a big man. He is a large human being.
We as a group, we're a giant.
Yeah.
Like we're big boys. We're not,
He can squat us all. He like 16 wham bams, put him on his back. Billy Friedrich will fucking walk that like it's nothing.
No, I like it. All right, we got to get into NBA. We got a 5-game card, and we want to make moves here. First off, stick around, both of you guys, right now. Daby Cab, excellent work, my man. We will see you here tomorrow. A lot of action. We know you want to fade Nick Martinez. I'll be curious to see how you handle that this evening. And thank you. Keep up the good work, my man. Incredible job. I tweeted out your overall record last year. Daby Cab finished the year at 61.9% in college basketball, 52-32 with an ROI over 20%. That's what he gave out on his show.
Should have been better.
Well, we know.
Yeah,
we
well,
know why.
yeah. We know why, Dabby. We know why it could have been better.
But it means that you can't, like, it's funny. It's funny that it could have been better because the bets you were making were cashing. The bets you weren't making were cashing. And for those of you, the waffle play today is Seager over 1.5 bases. So.
Of course. Yeah. No, that's obvious. That's obvious. By the way, did my waffle cash yesterday? I forgot what it was.
No, I believe it was a loser. But I'll double check that.
Bam! Fuck you, Cab.
Fuck you, okay? Fuck you, okay? That's all I have to say.
Let's get it.
I'm leaving. Bye. I'll see you.
There he goes. Daby Cab. See, Don't tell my waffles, guys. They're blue. They're disgusting. They're horrifying.
Fuck
So
you.
there you go.
Fuck you, Jose. All right, let's get into NBA here. It's always easier to laugh when you have a chance to cash here. Come on, Jose Quintana, for my family. Let's get into NBA now. Getting to NBA now. We have just the man for the job. We have a five-game NBA card and some very interesting spots here to attack. So please welcome from Chirac in the house after a phenomenal football season. He's turned it on here in NBA and he's been a great addition to our show. Please welcome Mr. Troy Torrence to the show here. Troy, how are you, my man?
I'm doing all right, man. Hey, now more than ever, it's never been more important to succeed. I'm coming off a hell of a bad night, man. It's time to bounce back.
Well, you did have a huge, you are betting you're doing what I wish I had done with the Oilers spot. So you're betting very heavy on spots you're really confident in, and you completely destroyed it 2 days ago with the Tribe. And so, they're just not all going to be winners, but you were right. The importance to succeed it's never been more important in my life, and I'm sure in a lot of the cappers that we roll with lives as well. So let's get right to work, Troy, my man.
Real quick.
Yeah.
I touched on something in the MLB real quick.
Of course, absolutely.
I want to just bring up the sharp trap in KC. I know Jose was joking about making the cash cow graphics, which now lost 2 run lines in a row, pissing me off. But the sharp trap is something that's a graphic that I like because it goes against the market. It's 30-7 straight up in my sample, which is over 1,000+ games, over 1,500 games, and it's 7-0 this season. It says take the Houston Astros, and I could get some X's and O's to support that as well. I think it's a great play. All right, I'm ready for NBA.
Let's go. And I would say that's not a couple feet, Billy. I would say that was 16 feet, and I'm being nice. I would say that was 21 feet from being a home run. Okay, let's get to work here. Troy Torrence. We start at 7 p.m. Eastern. We have the Chicago Bulls 37-42, 17-21 on the road at the Detroit Pistons 13-66, 7-32 at home. I went 1-2 yesterday. The Hornets was that was great, but I got fortunate too. I made 2 bets live. I got the Brooklyn on the money line at -140 1 point, but I got them at -3.5 at +115. So I got everything back, but it's still I give it out on the show and look like an asshole, and it hurts
the
my
double
record.
up on the Nets.
Yeah, like you
it reminded me of a spot that didn't even. It's not even correlative, but I mean, it just reminded me of that time you doubled up on the Bucks. That
yeah, absolutely. And now I'm starting to oh God, the Raptors have been so bad, and I have a negative ROI, and it just over the last 2 weeks hammering against them. But I'm telling you, it's the best live fade in the league, and I was lucky that it ended at 4 last night. I could have been screwed by it, but it's the best live bet in the league, fading them. All right, let's go here. Wine Time says, listening to you fellas, I haven't made an NBA bet in a week, and I won't until playoffs. I've heard this underwriting theme from cappers out there, staying away from last week, staying away. I disagree, and I think that if you do the due diligence, now look, I lost with the Brooklyn Toronto fade, and Brooklyn has no heart and doesn't care. But the Hawks were in a horrible spot yesterday, and we knew Trey was on a time, on a minute restriction. And he looked spectacular when he was out there, but you knew he was going to be. I mean, it was just I think we can find angles. We just have to do the due diligence. And Saturated's right. We don't want to open up the vault on these spots, but
No, and that's a good point. I haven't moved on anything pre-flop for the first time I've ever came on any show. And that's because I wanted to talk it out. Yesterday, we talked about some spots I felt like I should have moved on and should have cashed on. One of them being the Bucks, didn't move on it. But after talking it out, like I started to feel more confident. So I definitely wanted to sit and talk it out with you guys today. But I plan on having some action. There are angles to be had and cash to be made.
And let me say, I do respect and Wine Time says putting so much time in MLB and the wedding prep. Wedding is in 9 days for Wine Time. Congratulations, Wine Time. Respect, man. That's very, very exciting for you. and your fam. Let's roll. Bulls, Pistons. We're at Little Caesars. Over the last 5 games, Bulls playing at slow pace, 26th in the NBA. Caruso game time, DeSomu game time, Drummond game time. I don't think Drummond. Oh, he's now doubtful. Okay, in my cap, I did not think that Drummond was going to be able to play after that freak horrific play. I mean, he got hurt later, right? It wasn't that.
No, he's not. He's out today, correct?
Yeah, he's out. Yeah. DeSomu questionable right now. Ayo is questionable, and then Caruso here. They really want him right, but he's listed as probable. So okay, so Caruso is in. Interesting. Caruso is in and Drummond is out. So now Cade Cunningham, he's missed I think 4 straight games with the knee injury.
Game was March 29th, I believe. Or wait, was it?
I don't see they're clearly keeping him out for a reason. And look at that Collins Clips. You got that plus 1,300. God, that just still eats at me. Dan Kelly gave out Wemby to be the block leader.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, 1,300, and I believe it was plus 290 or 190 at the end of the year. Like it had moved, like it's moved. It's gone from 13 to 1 to like I forget if it was 1.9 to 1 or 2.9 to 1, but a huge move and great call, Dan. And we must all listen to Dan. Saturate says the reason I tread lightly the last week of the season is because it's a mindfuck trying to decide if teams care or not. No, I get it. I like that though. That's the part of capping where I enjoy very much. Detroit 0-5 over the last 5, playing 17th fastest pace. So Chicago's been shooting the ball okay, and so is Detroit. Surprisingly, you would think that Detroit's been shooting the ball poorly. They're shooting the ball poorly overall, and their 2-point baskets have been ugly. But 38.2 from 3 is Detroit over the last 5 games, and Chicago 48.4 from the field, but 36.7 from 3. Let's get into the line history here and the cash flow. Yes, we want more runs. More runs from the Mets. Good God. I mean, it's just, God, coming off a day like yesterday, it's just, okay. From a spread perspective, we're sitting here with the Bulls minus 10. They opened up at 9.5. They've been a half-point move towards the Chicago Bulls. When we get to the total here in this one, we have, quickly here. And you said it, speaking of saturated saying, you said it, you're doubling up on a team that doesn't, 2 teams that don't care. And you said that in the chat yesterday. I don't think I didn't read it. I just, okay. I don't think the Raptors are worse with RJ Barrett in street clothes. And I don't know if did anyone see the way Scotty Barnes was dressed, by the way, yesterday with the, I mean, yeah, those pants were, Jesus. First time I felt old was looking at Scotty Barnes dressed at the giant pants. I was hoping he's wearing wooden Crocs. A guy dressed like Janis Joplin on the sidelines. The total opens up at 218. It's now 219 and a half. Both teams are on the first of a back-to-back. That's what we're going to be talking about throughout today's card. All these teams on the first half of a back-to-back. And Top Set's birthday today, 54. Look at that. So we have 2 birthdays today in the chat. So best bets going to be given out for them. KG 1028 and our guy Top Set. Happy birthday to both you guys. We have so much love for you. Thank you for making sure I caught that. I missed that here. So Top Set birthday. I love it. Okay, so let me just do the X's and O's here and hand it over to Troy. We have both teams, as I said, on the first of a back-to-back. The Bulls coming off their second straight loss, 128-117 at home versus the Knicks on Tuesday. You were all over that spot with the Knicks. They play at Washington tomorrow. They already know they're going to face Atlanta in the number 9-10 seed in the Eastern Conference play-in. We just don't know who will host it. Bulls have gone 3-7 over their past 10. We know Drummond's not in the lineup. Pistons coming off their fifth straight loss, 120-102 at Philadelphia on Tuesday. They play at Dallas tomorrow night. They've lost 13 of their last 14 games. We're on that too, Joe. Let's get 2-0. God, I need this so fucking bad. Take it away, Troy. Bulls, Pistons.
If you guys remember correctly, I sat courtside and watched this matchup earlier in the season in late February. So this brought up terrible memories. And they were laying they laid 10 that night. Now it's 9.5. And they lost that game by 10. So they're laying 10. They lost by 10. It was the worst shooting performance in history for the 3-point line. And but if you look at the line functionality, I mean, in a way, it definitely is a point for the Bulls. They were laying 10 at home. They lost outright. Now they're laying 9.5, basically the same number on the road. And in this price range, historically, from in my database, between 8 and 12, the market is extremely efficient. So the way the line moves usually is a very strong indicator of what the final result's going to be and who's going to cover. But the spread really hasn't budged very much. And the total is definitely moving to the over. It would have been a great spot to look towards an under with the big road, big home dog of 3 possessions or more. The market moved to the under. Unfortunately, it's not moving to the under. So the only way from a total standpoint is I would look towards the over. I'm not going to personally move on that, but I think motivation is going to be pretty hard to judge in this matchup. Obviously, like a lot of teams nowadays, neither team has much to play for. Bulls are earmarked for a matchup with Atlanta in the play-in game. Now they are playing for home court advantage in that, but it's still not really at risk. If you look at the remaining schedules, the Bulls do have the Wizards on deck, and if they win that game, I'm pretty sure they're in. I think all they need to do is pull off one win. They get another one. Is it 3 now?
Sorry, I'm so caught up in that fucking ball game, dude. I just, you know what it's like, dude. You know what it's like, dude.
Let's go. I just seen it. It's a great play by the shortstop. But Detroit, they already locked up the worst record in the NBA. So this is Detroit's last home game. BJ comes in chat a lot, quite frequently, talking about this exit so-and-so's last game at home. Does it mean something? I personally do think it means something. I mean, they have no reason to tank anymore. And if Cade Cunningham is back in the lineup tonight, I think it's going to be a strong indicator of what their intentions are. And the injury situation is going to be telling from the Detroit Pistons side, but also from the Bulls side. If Ayo sits, I don't think people realize how important Ayo is to this lineup. He's a great defender. He's very long. He does a ton on the defensive side, but offensively, he pushes the pace. He knocks down corner threes, and he could attack the basket. I mean, this kid has really stepped up. He's one of the best players to watch on the Bulls. He's the only player I'm really interested in keeping on the Bulls. I like me some Caruso, who's probably going to be playing tonight too. But I think that if Cunningham plays and this line moves towards the Pistons, it'll align with the database. It'll align with my thoughts that these teams are a lot closer than 3 possessions. It's just too big of a spread. This is the biggest favorite the Bulls have been on the road all season long. Now, they've never been a favorite by more than 2 possessions. Now we're at over 3 possessions. And last year, they were only a favorite of over 3 possessions one time. They did win and get the job done. They beat the Hornets by like 25 points. It was late March that game happened. But for me, I'm going to be looking towards the Pistons. Hopefully, Cade gets announced in. I'd much rather take an 8.5, knowing that I align with the Matrix. And, I'll be looking towards the Pistons only in this matchup.
Saturated, by the way, saying, got to go hang out with Mama. Saturated, by the way, chemo kicked the shit out of her tumors already. Doctors are amazed.
Wow.
God, that's just, that makes me not care about the Mets game. I tell you that.
Right. That's a much bigger win.
About the Mets game.
Much bigger win.
That's what we care about. That's just such wonderful, wonderful news, man. God, that's wonderful news, Saturated. And love to you and your fam, and love the showing the strength. And it's inspiring because we got a Kong's clips, with his own medical issues, and it's inspiring to hear that stuff. We have Nordy's wife who just went through her chemotherapy, and they're in Disneyland right now, which is so perfect for them. And so it's inspiring. So thank you for sharing that information, and please give her a hug from us as well. So I don't think Cade's coming in though. I don't think I'd be shocked to see Cade listed in. I don't think he plays the rest of the year, but also they have 2 more home games. So would he play on the final? Yeah, I've got them 7-32 at home.
I don't know why I was under the impression that they were that was the last one, but I trust what you're saying.
I mean, I just I could be wrong, but that's what.
No, this is the Pistons' last game. They go on the road to Dallas and then San Antonio.
Oh wow, I'm 7th. Okay.
This is a sandwich spot. They're coming off 4 straight road games. They get a sandwich spot. Usually I like to fade this spot, to be honest. And then they're on the road tomorrow to Dallas. God, this is just such a tough spot. I do think that if Cunningham plays and the line moves appropriately, I might be on the Pistons. This is just such a tough spot. I definitely won't be laying it with the Bulls.
Let's roll on. You talk about why you don't want to make moves early. We talk about why some of our best NBA cappers don't want to make bets in the final week of the year. Celtics are on the first of a back. Both teams are on the first of a back-to-back. BJ's best bet is on the New York Knicks. I saw the line moving towards the New York Knicks. I did not expect Tatum and Jaylen Brown to both be in. And so I moved on the Knicks minus 2.5, like an asshole. Now they're plus 2.5. or +2. Kristaps Porzingis not going to be in it. And so now it's an interesting thing. I don't hate the bet. No, I hate the line I got. But I mean, are they really going to push Tatum and Brown? I mean, if I was Mazzola, I wouldn't play him for more than 28 minutes or so. But this was a mistake. Clear mistake here. And I will have to deal with it.
I was almost right there with you, Jimmy. I was already right there with you, but I was like, this, at that point at 2.5, I was like, you know what? I wouldn't mind if it got up to 4.5, and I'll take the Knicks at damn 4.5. That'll just be more, I almost moved on it. This was probably the only bet I was going to move on pre-flop was the Knicks. So I don't mind that you're on it even at the 2.5. I mean,
it just makes me look like an asshole. That's all, publicly, and then I got to deal with, so I still don't hate it, but so Bob opening up at +3, they're now -2. The +2 if you want on the Knicks -113. There's 2.5s widely available. Let's get to the total here in this one. Here we go. From a total standpoint here, we have sitting at 217. This opened up at 214.5. It's because these guys are going to be in. I don't think that that should be. I don't know why it's necessarily going up because I really don't think these guys are going to play that much. Clearly, I'm in a big trouble. 96% of spread bets are on the New York Knicks. I mean, that's not where you want to be. 59% of the money line bets. That makes me feel a little more comfortable.
It'll balance out. It'll balance out by the time tip-off comes.
I imagine so. Justin McKelvey still liking the Knicks in this spot. Joe, you're saying Brunson 30+, probably the most dependable angle here. Brent Cook says Knicks up
for me. A lot of times where the market currently sits, when I go make the entries the following day into the database, it's like it completely flipped from where it was at, at this time of the day. So it's just something to keep in mind of you got to kind of gauge where you see that action coming as the public comes in when they're getting off of work, essentially.
I don't think that this total should be climbing. The Knicks play the slowest pace in the NBA over the last 5 games, 94.8 possessions a game. Boston's played the 3rd slowest pace. Now, I know their efficiency has been very good all year, but it hasn't been the last 5 games with players coming in and out. They're both the Knicks are shooting. That's the team that's got the efficiency going on. 49.8 from the field, 41.7 from 3. They're playing very well. And for the Celtics, 48.2 from the field and 35.7 from 3. Collins Clip says, get your money back on Boston first half. I'm not going to bet on teams that don't care. Even if and that's just my thing. Even if maybe you're like, well, they're coming off a loss. Celtics don't care if they lose out. So Knicks coming off their second straight win, 120-117. The Bulls on Tuesday. They host Brooklyn tomorrow. Brunson went for 45. A second straight game going 40. He had 43 at Milwaukee. He's gone for 40 plus 10 times. Celtics coming off that 104-91 loss at Milwaukee on Tuesday, snapping their 5-game winning streak. They were down by 20 in the first half. The first NBA team not to shoot a free throw. I mean, it's just crazy. And they host Charlotte tomorrow night, so they don't have to travel. They've won 13 straight home games. The Knicks have not beaten the Celtics this season. Winless in 4 games. I mean, that to me was, I thought that. And then Joe Yerger says, is Boston going to try on defense? It's not that that's a good point to bring up. I don't think they're going to try to. It's not about trying to win on defense. It's about how their efficiency, when Tatum and Brown are out there, I mean, when you pull them off the floor, the efficiency just falls apart. So here we go. Take it away here, Troy. Knicks, Celtics.
This to me is definitely one of the top 2 games on the board. So I really wanted to have some action in it. I mean, but to Jimmy's point, I mean, what are we going to get out of the Celtics today? They were home dogs against the Knicks. And if you look at the history in this matchup, I mean, they were never – so here's the line history. Boston on October 25th. So the first game of the season, they pushed on the spread. Boston won by 4. So it was a 4-point spread. Then they were laying 9.5 at home. They were laying 7.5 at home. They were laying 6 on the road. And now they're sitting at 2. It keeps moving towards the Knicks. And I think that's definitely telling me a story of who the book's like in this game. The fact that it's only a possession. Now, maybe some more guys get announced in and it moves, but I'm certain it won't move up to a 6. So I think line functionality is going to be definitely a point for the Knicks. no matter who ends up playing, unless it gets up to 6. I think that's going to be a strong point for the Knicks. And it's just so hard to cap this game. They've already locked in the number 1 seed. All their starters, every player on their damn roster was listed as game time decision. And if that last game isn't any indication against the Bucks, where they shot 53 pointers, they shot the 53s and no free throws in their last game. I mean, that kind of is telling me where their head's at. And that's versus an Eastern Conference opponent, which you would imagine in a typical circumstance would be a very important game. But down the stretch for the Celtics team, none of these games are really important. It's just about kind of refining their tools, staying sharp, getting up and down the court. It's not going to be an all-in effort by any sense of the word, but are we going to get that all-in effort from the Knicks? Because it's really hard to know where their mind's at. If the Knicks,
why wouldn't they? I mean, they're so close to the number 2 seed. Sorry, let me get this up. I mean, they're right there. I mean, it's right in front of them. And I think the difference between now, I know that the play-in, the 2 seed, we've talked about people maybe not wanting, because if we're talking about, the Sixers Heat and 8-7 and how difficult it will be there, I can understand that. I can understand that, but
yeah, that's the only point I had is really the 76ers in the first round. That's what they're risking, right?
But if the Bucks win one more game, then or the Knicks lose one more game, then the 3rd seed is what you want. Either play the Magic or I guess the 3rd or 4th seed's kind of a push, because then you get them. But those that's a sweet spot, 3rd or 4th. And I would rather have the 3rd seed just to give me a better chance at possibly having home. Because if the winner of the Heat Sixers, let's say, knocks out the Bucks, well, then all of a sudden the Knicks would,
really good point,
playing at home. So I mean, I think it's important. Robert Franklin.
I think you're right. And just like looking at it right now, everybody's so bunched up right there. It's really hard to guess. Like, I'd rather be this seed or that seed. You know what I mean? Unless you're the Celtics and you're just head and shoulders way out of the picture at this point. I think that's a good point. I am going to probably end up moving on the Knicks. I don't know if I should wait. Maybe I should. I'm going to be on the Knicks. Yeah,
I don't think you have any issue waiting. I think it's a smarter move here to wait. But
so should I? I'm going to tweet this out. Whatever line I'm going to get. Hopefully, if I can get a 3, I'll probably move on it when it hits 3. But I'll CC you, or I'll tag you on my post on the Knicks, because
I think the move to the over is wrong. I don't think it's predicated on cash. I think it's just predicated on who's going to be in the lineup. And you got 73% of the tickets on the over. I would like to bet against them. So I'm going to sit with that here, but I'm very likely to be on the under here at this number. I don't think it goes higher, but I'll be keeping a close eye on it. I'm already on the Knicks -2.5, -108. I have to deal with that shit. That's what it is. Let's move on. 9 p.m. Eastern, Houston Rockets 39-40, 12-26 on the road. The Utah Jazz 29-50, 20-20 at home. Delta Center in Salt Lake City, Utah. Houston 1-4 over their past 5, 99.23 possessions a game, 15th fastest in the league. Shooting the ball very poorly from the outside, 34.6. Utah also shooting the ball poorly, 37.9% from 3. Not quite as bad as obviously Houston. The problem is that Utah shooting 42.7 from the field. I mean, they're not getting easy buckets, and now they have had. They did just play the Nuggets on Tuesday, and that's a tough team. They've lost 13 straight, and they play at the Clippers tomorrow night. This is the first of a back-to-back for both teams. Rockets snapped their 5-game losing streak with that 118-106 victory at home over Orlando on Tuesday, and they play at Portland tomorrow night. So the first thing is with Utah, everybody's out. There's no question about who's going to be in, at least. Clarkson out, Collins out, Dunn out, Kessler out, Markkanen out, Sexton out. So it's your 7, Hendricks, Senzaba, Johnny Juzang, and Keontae George. I mean, it's an ugly lineup. Van Fleet, Jalen Green, Eamon Thompson, Dillon Brooks, and Jabari Smith. The Rockets don't care, but they cared at home. I really think, now I know that Van Fleet is a leader, but I really do believe that they don't care. They don't care. Now let's just take a look at the line history here in this one. I hand it over to our guy Troy. They're sitting at 10.5 at Pinnacle. It's 11 at other books. This hasn't moved. It opened up Houston -10.5, -104. It's now Houston -10.5, -109. And this reminds me of the Hornet spot last night, where I didn't believe the Hawks cared at all. And look what happened in the second half. Now, it helped that Trey was on the minutes restriction. From a total side of things here, we have this at 227.5 minus 107 to the under. And then when we get to the cash flow here, we have actual information. Now, this isn't what I want to see. 23% of the tickets and 98% of the cash is on the Jazz. I mean, I like seeing that 77% of the tickets are on the Rockets. I just think that's a huge bet. Someone's made a huge bet on the Jazz. Would you expect to see the market then move? I don't know. We'll hear what Troy say about it. 64% of tickets on the under. We have no cash information on that one. Take it home for us here. Rockets, Jazz at Delta Center.
This is a game I really struggle with. Right. Both teams playing for nothing, obviously. But how could you lay double digits with the Rockets? I struggle to get to a 10, 11 point spread with this Rockets team in their current state of mind. And the Jazz is pretty much missing their entire team, or 90% of their production this season. It's just so hard to have action in a game like this because I want to take the Jazz, and then you look at the Rockets a little bit more. They're 10-3 ATS when laying more than 2 possessions this season. It's just so hard for me to really take a side in this game. I really wanted to have something for everybody, but I cannot even give you a true opinion.
Can I ask you a question? Do you feel like the books are hanging this double digits because they're saying, okay, yeah, come bet the Jazz. You want to bet the Jazz? Come bet the Jazz. Is it a fishy line because it's so big? If this was an 8, would you be more comfortable backing the Jazz than an 11? When clearly that's why the amount of the the amount of the big bets are coming in on the Jazz. Is this trappy?
Yeah, this is 100% trappy. 100% trappy.
Rockets are 12-26 on the road, and I know that the Jazz are missing all these players, but they're 20-20 at home.
And 10-3 ATS when laying more than 2 possessions. And this Jazz team, all the production they're going to be missing. It's just, you're right. It looks to me, I tried to get to the Jazz from every single angle possible. Couldn't get there. So that only tells me one thing. The Rockets are the side.
This is of course I want the Jazz at this number.
Right. And you figure you're going to get good effort. A lot of young guys, Keontae George, Johnny Jizang, Brett Sensabaugh, but none of those guys were playing good defense this season. And if the Rockets aren't going to be really contested offensively, there's no way Utah is going to be as efficient as the Rockets are going to be. And this spread, road favorites, line moving towards them in this range. Let me see what happens when you account for like a record, like a middling team, right?
Yeah, I'd like you to look that up too. Joe Yeager says Rockets want to be 500. I don't know if I fully buy that. I think Doug has it right. I think Doug has this right, and I'm gonna go with what Doug's doing here. Doug says the Rockets shouldn't lay double digits against anyone. I get that, and he says I want to see this number move towards the Jazz. So let's do that. Don't you want to see this close at 9.5 and then we move on the Jazz? I don't know. Why don't you pull up that?
At this point, I think it's too far gone. I don't think it's coming back towards the Jazz. I really don't. Especially when you see the splits the way they are.
No, I just lost
that big of splits and the line hasn't moved. Usually those splits end up
moving.
I feel like that'd be misleading.
Let's just see what Bet Online has done with this, and then we can just move on to the next spot on the board here. Let's move this off. At Bet Online, they have everybody's got the 11. Bookmaker has the 10.5. But Bet Online opened this up at -7. Okay, I'm off.
So here you go, Jim.
That's ridiculous. This didn't. Oh, listen to this, Troy. This didn't open up till midnight. This opens up at midnight at -7. An hour, 3 minutes later, 8.5. 20 minutes after that, 10. Hour and 30 minutes. I'm off. I can't. This doesn't feel right. Sorry to interrupt, my man. Take it away.
No, you're good. Road favorites between 9 and 11. Market moving in their direction, and their winning percentage is less than 55, so less than 550.
Yeah.
Road team is 12-5 ATS, 15-1 straight up. 16-1 straight up. And it's an under trend too, but I don't think that applies here really. But what that's telling me is that teams in this range where the Rockets should be being priced and they're laying these big numbers, they usually get it done 70% ATS.
And this is my mentality towards this type of situation. It's that I don't want to play the fool. And that's enough to make me not bet it. And other cappers, DC Capper has the confidence to trust his own numbers and trust the situation, and I respect that very much.
Who's he on?
He's on the Jazz. He's on the Jazz plus 10.5.
5-0 Mets.
Yeah. 7-0 Mets.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was a great breakdown on Winans, but whatever. You need to be in the black before you start patting yourself on the back. Look, I respect that. What you guys are doing. I would rather. So this is the mentality for me, and maybe this is wrong, and maybe I should change this. But I would rather not be on it and it wins than the anger I would have if I fall into what I perceive is the books opening up their arms to anybody who wants the Jazz. I've been doing this for too long to walk into a cave and maybe there's not a bear in that cave, but maybe there's a guy smoking rock with a knife. Let's move on.
Hey, and just wanted to say this. It's so much different when you're at home laying 10.5 compared to when you're on the road laying 10.5, especially when you're a middling team. Because if you flip this to the home team, it's a very unprofitable trend. Flip it to the road team, very profitable.
No, it's well put. It's well put because how in the right mind are the Rockets? This is just, I will cheer for you guys who are on the Jazz, but I will not be on it. Let's move on. 10 p.m. Eastern. Oh yeah, Joe. No, we know that their best players are out. We know that, but we knew that those guys were out yesterday. Right? Bet Online knew that those guys were out. We all knew that they were out. There was no chance. None of them are coming back. We knew that. There's no new information coming in for a 4-point swing at Bet Online. It's that the Sharps came in and took the Rockets at that number. And maybe now it's gone so far that you can get in. But let's move on. 10 p.m. Eastern, we have the Golden State Warriors, 44-35, 24-16 on the road. And Billy Friedrich saying Rockets shouldn't be favored by that much on the road to anyone. We all agree on that. Right? We're all in agreement on that. So why are the books continuing to move it in that number? I mean, that's all. And there's times where you could look at this and say, well, Jimmy, you have too much respect for the books. And then I would say, well, I'd rather lean towards having too much respect than not enough. But these are all fair statements. And I guess we can wax a little bit on it because, we don't have that many games. But we still have 2 games left. And we do need a review of the show. So let's roll. Golden State Warriors, Portland Trailblazers. We're at Moda Center in Portland, Oregon. Blazers 21-58, 11-28 at home. Warriors are 44-35, 24-16 on the road. And whenever I think of Portland, I think of the bookstore, best bookstore in the world. That's where I got Trading Bases about 10 years ago with Sonny Dollywall, Son Dizzle. Trading Bases is the best baseball book I've ever read in my life. And it's for gamblers. Now it's it's more fun when it's closer to the year it came out, just because you can remember the games. But if you want a baseball book that changed my life gambling wise, that was it. Trading Bases. Golden State Warriors at Portland Trailblazers. Warriors 4-1 over the past 5, playing at a 10th fastest pace in the NBA, 100 possessions a game, and this team is shooting the ball phenomenally well. They're shooting 51.7 from the field. And listen to this number, Troy. Over the last 5 games, 47.2% from 3.
Ridiculous.
Portland, 21st fastest pace over the last 5 games, 42.7 from the field and 33.3% from 3. The difference in efficiency from these 2 lineups. Now, we know why Portland's lineup is such a mess. They're missing all these, key components. And Simons, Jeremy Grant, Brogdon, and Thibault. Maybe Brogdon and Thibault might help more defensively. They got Scoot out there, and they got DeAndre Ayton. I don't ever know if he cares or not. For the Warriors, though, Clay is questionable, right knee tendonitis, and he's not been on the injury report for the last little bit, so he's on it here. I think there's something legit going on. And then we have Draymond Green with a right knee contusion. These Warriors play at home versus the Pelicans tomorrow in an important basketball game. The situation right now for the Warriors, they've clinched the play-in game. They're a half game behind the Lakers. They have a game in hand. You want that game in San Francisco so badly. In saying that, they should be able to beat Portland without the services of Draymond or Clay, right? Coming in off their second straight win, 8-9 games, 134-120 at the Lakers on Tuesday. Blazers coming off their second straight loss, 110-100 at home versus the Pelicans on Tuesday. They play at home versus Houston tomorrow night, so they have back-to-back with no travel. So let's get into the line history here for this one. You have the Warriors right now, minus 13.5 and minus 111. Opened up at 14, a half-point move towards Portland. We know that this line will move when these guys are announced out. And they, from a Nexus No standpoint, this is where you sit them. You need them for the Pelicans game. We can win without you guys against these bums, but we need you tomorrow night. This total opening up at 222.5 minus 106 to the under. It's now 222.5 minus 108 to the under. We have a 2-cent move to the under. And then when we get to the cash flow for this spot, you have 86% of the tickets on the Warriors. We have no cash flow information. 67% of the tickets on the over. Take it away for us here. Warriors, Blazers, Troy.
This is another game. It's very hard to find a side because you find contradicting information when you look at both angles. But the Warriors, I mean, they're definitely incentivized to win this game. But to your point, do they have to blow a team out? So they're going to sit some guys and just skate by with the win, get into tomorrow where they have a much bigger, tougher matchup with the Pelicans. I think that's the case. So immediately you start looking at the Trailblazers. You look at the Trailblazers, you pull up home dogs of 10 or more. Well, home dogs of 10 or more have been great this season, 40-28 ATS. However, since the start of April, those numbers have flipped since April 7th. So there's been the last 7 times a home dog of 10 or more, the home team has cashed only 1. And this actually applies to the Jazz game now that I'm thinking about it. So 1 of the last 7, and that means, as the season's winding down, these big home dogs are letting go of the rope. They're playing against teams that it matters, right? These games matter for certain teams. It doesn't matter for the Portland Trailblazers. They haven't beat the Warriors in so long. I just don't think I'm going to be able to get on the side of this game. Part of me wants to take the Trailblazers at plus 14. Part of me wants to take the Warriors. I just won't be able to get to a side. And from a total standpoint, it'd be over or nothing.
What a phenomenal stat that was. That just makes so much sense. And we need to abuse it next year and for the rest of our lives.
Right.
The first 50, 60 games of the year, the double-digit home dog is live.
Yeah, it would be 39-20 prior to the last. Yeah.
The last 20 games of the year, these big favorites are locked in. Wow, that's a stat. Now, I expect this to move. I expect tip-off to be 10.5 or 11. And that still doesn't even make me want to get these extra points. And I'm saying that because I expect Clay and Draymond to be announced out. Wow.
So you're going to be looking towards moving on the Warriors at, later?
No, I can't. I can't do it. I can't. I can't. With the Warriors coming off beating the Lakers in the game that meant so much to them, and knowing they play the Pelicanos next, I can't sit here. I do not want to have money on a double-digit favorite where I need, it's the waning seconds of the game. The minute and a half left, and your team that you bet on doesn't care. They've already won the game. That's just a sick feeling for me. It's a sick feeling when you want someone to care. And you have no control, and it's just.
And by the way, that 1 of the last 7, there's only 1 cover from a home dog in the last 7. The only team to cover is the Trailblazers against the Pelicans. They lost by 10.
Wow! So they barely covered.
They were catching 14.
So. Oh, and Mally Mal, let me make this clear. Clay and Draymond, there's been nothing announced. But I wonder if, Steve Kerr thinks that they can beat this team without these guys, and we want them tomorrow night. Again, I'm tying too much into it. Rob Friedlike and Jackson Davis over 17.5 points and rebounds, and a jaw dropper from Ramon Scott. Ipe stole $16 million from Ohtani. I mean, it makes me feel so much better about my gambling issues. Okay, let's and Chase says FanDuel has all their props still up, so they must be pretty green to go. I mean, that's another important point, Chase. I mean, the last thing you'd want to do is bet the Blazers, because I'm saying that I don't expect these guys to be in, and then they're in. This is just, it's a guessing game with a huge favorite, and I can understand why it doesn't appeal. Why don't we move on to a game where there's now again, it's the first half of a back-to-back here in this next game. So, but we do have a sense of what's going on injury-wise, at least. Pelicans, Kings. So let's start with the injury-wise. We know that BI is out. We know that Larry Nance is out. And for the Kings, we know that Malik Monk is out. Then the biggest question is Keegan at this point. Keegan questionable. So, he played through the injury Tuesday. I don't see why he wouldn't play through it here today. But that would be the only thing sort of hovering over this spot. Let's get into the line history for our final game here of the show. 21 games. This is half the games that we had on Tuesday, but still, 3 hours in. But at least it's real, not relax is not the right word, but God, Tuesday was just it was very difficult. This total opening up at 218.5 is now at 215. We have a 3.5 point move towards the under. And then from a spread perspective, we have Sacramento -1 and -102. Now they opened up at now it's -105. So now it's exactly where it opened up at Pinnacle at 7:28 p.m. yesterday, which begs the question, where did BetOnline open this up? BetOnline opened this up very differently. BetOnline opened this up 6 hours before Pinnacle with Sacramento at -2.5. So at that +2.5 number for the Pelicanos, at 2 a.m., this became a pick'em. So the early sharp money clearly on New Orleans. And why wouldn't it be? We talk about the Kings finishing up this 1-3 road trip. And you could say, the flight from Oklahoma and Sacramento is not that long. It's not about that. It's about that you travel on your day off. We've seen teams who travel the day after a road trip, and then they have an actual day off or an optional practice, and then they play. So they play, they have 2 days in between games. This is that 1 day in between games. And they play at home versus Suns tomorrow night. They better be ready to go. Pelicans coming off their second straight win, 110-100 at Portland on Tuesday. So that was the spot you were saying was that win was right there. It was that game on Tuesday. It was not that win, but the Portland covering the big dog line. I'd be very curious to see what the cash flow then is on this one. 71% of the tickets are on the Sacramento Kings. 65% of the tickets are on the over. This reminds me of like a pros against Joes sort of a thing. Look at that. Devin Cooley confirmed for the Sharks. And Decord for the Kraken. Thank you, Billy. That will definitely take me off any kind of interest in the Sharks first period, I think. But I'll study Cooley a little more. This feels like a pros against Joe's spot. It really does. Pelicans have been sitting in Sacramento waiting for them. Why do we not back them here, Troy? Take it away.
Seems like every time I'm on the show, there's a reason to back the Pelicans. And they've dominated in this matchup, winning and covering all 4 games. And in all 4 spots, they were underdogs. And by the way, they won those games by an average of 21 points. There's been blowouts by this Pelicans team. And the spread continues to shorten up. This is the shortest spread they've been up against the Kings all season. I think that's 2 points already in favor of the Pelicans. Both teams are on the front end of a back-to-back. Here comes the third point. Pelicans got Warriors, Kings got Suns, but the travel situation is the deciding factor for me. I'm going to give another point to the Pelicans because the Kings coming off 4 straight road games where they lost 3 of 4, not coming in good form. And the Pelicans, they haven't played necessarily the same strength of schedule, but third game of road trip coming off 2 consecutive wins. I think the injury situation is extremely important in this matchup. Yeah, Brandon Ingram, not having him, big piece. You don't want to be missing him. But I think just as worthy at just the amount of worth, the value that Brandon Ingram brings to the Pelicans, Malik Monk is almost of that same value to the Sacramento Kings. this man, Malik Monk, when it comes to clutch situations, when they need a big bucket and just offensively in general, this guy always steps up in critical moments over and over again. Not having him with the spread around a pick'em range is going to be very important. I haven't bet this game yet. I was actually hoping to see the Pelicans flip to the favorites, and I will not hesitate to move. When a road team closes -1, -2 after flipping to the favorites, their win percentage is greater than 500, like the Pelicans is, 11-2 straight up, winning by margin. I'm just going to let this market develop along with the Knicks. So I have the Knicks and the Kings that I'm likely, or the Knicks and the Pelicans that I'm likely going to move on. I just want to see what the final market prior to close is going to look like. When I have a feeling that this is it, I'm certain that this is where it's going to close, I'll move.
I'd like to move. I expect to move on the under. I'm going to bet the Pelicans here in minutes. We're going to put the bow on this. Ron Crawford saying King straight fade is home favorite. Pelicans 12-5 as road dogs. I love what you brought to the show today, Troy. Great job. The stat still rocking with me. The double-digit home dog. I mean, that is a stat that we can use. I imagine that it will continue to do that year after year after year. And the great thing about capping with you is that you'll let us know if it does. But that just makes so much sense to me.
Yep.
It makes so much sense to me. I really enjoyed this, Troy. I like it. And Dougie agreeing. He says he'll double down if it moves at least a point towards Pels. I'm going to move on it now, hoping that I see it at -1.
You know what? I got to have a bet that I give out on the show. So I'm with you. I'm going Pelicans money line, best line available, whatever you can give me.
All right, let's grab that. Nasty Nate joining me on that first three. Be like, roll that shit. I like that shit.
I haven't got the balls yet to start betting first three. I liked it, but I feel like I lost. I think I lost my first three bets, and I was like, you know what? I'll just let this go for right now. I don't feel comfortable.
I really like the first 5 plus a half and the first 3 money line. Because
ability.
I mean, it just the push is going to be in play a lot. If you lose, you're in tough shape. But here you have that big plus score, and Bet365 screws you, but that plus 125 feels nice.
Yeah, and you know what else, Jimmy? I'm just going to do it. I'll take the Knicks. I'm just going to take them on the money line. At FanDuel, I can get it at plus 110, and I'll take that. I'll take that number.
You know what's so crazy about? Sorry, we're gonna go over that in a second here. But what's so crazy about my baseball season is I'm destroying with you guys on these games that are happening while I'm cashing them all, and then I go off alone in the dark and the fucking start stacking canals. Let's get you the Pelicanos. Get the best money line here for Troy. We'll start there. So here we go on the money line for New Orleans. See if we can get a plus 101. It's the best we can get you there. They're about to be favorites.
Everywhere on all the public books, you can't get better than a minus 105 on the Pelicans.
Yeah, they're about to be favorites. So Troy on the Pelicans at plus 101. And did you want the points with the Knicks or did you want the money line?
I'm just going to take the money line. I just bet it at plus 110.
Oh wow, that's the best line. Oh no, there's plus 110s here. Yeah, Heritage Sport plus 1. Okay, and then the Knicks for Troy. Knicks. Do you have any angle with your database on the total in that one?
On the Knicks game?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm almost certain. I know this spot. Can we say that the market has moved towards the Celtics? Because I know it's a huge under trend if it has.
Yeah, it's moved towards the Celtics and it's moved towards the over.
Yep, I see that as well. I see, but usually the trend I'm thinking of moves towards the under. I know it's an under trend though. Let's go between 1 and 3.
I like it.
Therefore, just right away between 1 and 3, you got a 63% trend to the under. If the market's moving to the over in that sample, it's only a 60% trend, so it gets a little bit worse. And when the total's low, it's actually not as wow. With a total less than 230, you got 7 and 2 to the under. So yeah, you got strong under trends. When you got these short home favorites like this, very strong under trends.
I'm going to pull the trigger. So, Troy, we have 2 official plays from you. Knicks moneyline plus 110, Pelicans moneyline plus 101.
Yep, sounds good.
Love it, Troy. Thank you for making time for us, my man. Send our love to Big Tatum. How old's Tatum now?
He's going to be 6 months in 7 days.
Oh, that's great, man.
Fucking
Congratulations
time flies, man.
on that. That's exciting. Great work, man.
Thank you. Yeah, it's been a struggle, especially when you have a bad day like I did yesterday, it fucking weighs on you. You fall behind. I got to change that, man. I got to get my act together. Because
what I've been really good at is starting to work on tomorrow. Just don't sit there. Just work on tomorrow. Don't sit there and wallow. I've gotten really good at that. Just work on tomorrow. And even if you go slow, like whatever, just build your worksheet. If it's just a skeleton, just sit and look at tomorrow. Stop thinking about today. And that's so if I can send that to anybody, I'll just move to tomorrow immediately. And please support our guy Troy on X at Troy Torrence 11, and you can catch me every Thursday, crushing NBA. Spreadsheet dog Roland says Ron Crawford with the Mets. Troy, any last words for the Cappers supporting the show?
Shit, this might be the last show I'm on, isn't it? Are we gonna do playoffs still?
Of course, we're gonna do playoffs, man.
All right, so Thursday playoff games. I'm gonna be here, fucking locked in. I'll tell you that. I love the NBA playoffs. I live bet a lot of it, so I'll have a lot of my live betting situations already aligned. But hey, Jimmy, thanks for having me on. Jose, my guy. Jose, did you say you're on
Troy.
the under in the Red Sox game?
I am, yeah.
Oh man, I'm concerned for your action.
Okay, well, thank you. Well, now that you said that, I'll put this up unfinished. Enjoy your cash cow drop. And there goes.
What the fuck?
Yes,
what kind of cow is that?
Is
that
that
a cow?
A cow, Troy? Of course,
Is that
that's a cow.
Cows
beautiful
have
cow right
black spots. They're white with black spots. No one's gonna know that's a fucking cow.
I think we didn't find another cow.
That's a beautiful cow. That's a beautiful cow right there, Troy. You're crazy right now.
Well,
you guys are showing your
in Texas than I do. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, you guys are showing your northernness right now. Jesus, get out of here.
Leonard says that's a fat horse. So
all right, whatever. You guys are mistaken. That's a beautiful cow. I'd pet the hell out of that cow.
Oh man, my friend Winston Spear used to have this. He was such a wildly interesting comic, so out of left field and so fun to watch, so different than everybody else. And he has this joke where he talks about there's the one horse, and the 80 cows, and that horse is like, because I'm the fastest cow in the entire world. And I won't go into it. It's not okay. Let's review all action here. All action on today's show. We start out with a bang. A fucking bang. Mets first 3 money line plus 125. Mets first 5 minus a half minus 105, which the Pinnacle account took a bath yesterday. Fucking bath. Fucking bath. Like, it was in good shape. I'd be running nice. And then, so it's very important for that first 5 minus a half. Then in the rest of baseball, I've already moved on that first 5 under in Houston, Kansas City, first 5 under 4.5. Now, I may not move on the Orioles first 5 or the first 5 under 4.5. If I need a winning day so badly, and I just feel like, just take the W and move on to tomorrow's card, and I might do that. And I know you could say, scare money, don't make money, it's cop out, whatever. Just give me my fucking money. So that's in store.
I'd rather be you right now after Troy telling me that he's concerned for my action. It feels like I just got stricken down. I was confident, and then
he used to say that to me, Jose, in like our first couple of years together on baseball, and he'd be like, "I'm really nervous about," and he was right, almost like he would. I knew right when he would say that, I'd be like, "Oh, fuck you." So,
yeah, it's concerning. It's concerning, especially because I doubled up on it. So that's me being a greedy bastard. So
and also Mally Mal says smart money makes money. I like that so much more because everyone. Now people stopped saying, scare money don't make money, and I'm like, well, how much money did you have invested in today's card? You know, I mean,
Is
I
it enough that your parents are concerned for your well-being?
Yeah.
That's all you got to say. if it's not, then I don't want to hear it.
Okay. So let's roll here. That is MLB. And in NA, so we have the spreadsheet play today is Orioles. So I'm gonna still work on that game. I need a W after what happened yesterday. In NHL, I'm extremely confident in those 4 spots that I moved on that I told you guys about. They're all on the -1 line. I really like them. I don't need the market to move in my favor. I don't need any of that shit. Now I've got to decide whether I want to add the under in the Cap Sabres game and add the under in the Red Wings Penguins game, and I'm almost certain to add it in the Red Wings Penguins game. Almost certain.
God, I'm gonna be so angry when the Astros roll today. Oh, I'm gonna be angry.
What's going on? Has it started?
Double off the hop, apparently.
Shit.
Yeah. It's gonna be interesting.
Yes, it will be. Okay, so Mets, Braves. So we're in business. Let's go back to hockey. So Gogster made 4 additions, and I like that Gogster's doing that. If you guys saw what, for me, you guys were us working together on the NHL card Tuesday. I destroyed it. I think that there should be additions to the card when we all work together. I really do. So Gogster's added 4 spots. He added the Capitals +118. He added the Leafs -1. So the Leafs -1 was a play I'm very confident in. He added the Flyers first period, and again, I am,
Wow, you're betting on your man, Torts?
No, that's Gogster's additions.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no,
I got scared. I got scared for you. I was like, what the hell?
No, I learned my lesson. I romanticizing the Couturier coming back into the room.
Oh yeah, you bet on him yesterday.
Not yes, 2 days ago, but like it's just that L sticking to me. Gogster's got no goal first 9.5 in Red Wings Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh -1. I love the risk reward. I got +108 plus money on that spot. I love it. Do I double up on unders? First period under 1.5, full game under 6.5. Maybe I should. Jarek White saying, and then I got the Islanders -1. Jarek White saying anybody on the Stars? No, and Gogster in fact on the Jets first period.
Oh, by the way, I really hope the Stars and the Avalanche play in the playoffs because I'm obviously betting the Avalanche. I've seen it with my own 2 eyes. The Avalanche are a better hockey club. 2-period hockey team. The Dallas Stars are.
Yeah, I would like to see them play too. I think it'd be very, very intense. And then I got the Kings -1, -121. The other moves for Gogster here, let me grab them for you. Sorry, here we go. And Gogster 99. The other looks for Gogster are he's on Florida in regulation and the under 7.5. Tampa Bay money line and the under 7.5. New York Islanders money line and the under 6.5. Those are all plus money spots. Winnipeg first period money line +118 and the Kings in regulation at -113. Polo this, Polo that says Avalanche win the cup. I'm really interested in how the Stanley Cup playoffs bang out because I don't think that Burnaby Joe Sakic, whom I love dearly, has enough respect for size and toughness. And I think that you're asking Josh Manson to do too much. What happens if Josh Manson gets hurt? Then you have obviously you can't let them be on the power play, and McKinnon's speed will hurt you. But I don't think they are big enough and tough enough to win the Stanley Cup. So I'll be very interested to see if how that all bangs out. Justin McKelvey stacks play of the day. Marcel Ozuna over a half RBI at +112. What other stuff we have? We got Alec Dirks with that Rangers Phillies parlay. We don't know if the Phillies game is going to go. Philly Eagle Flyer. The Dodgers. For a second inning draw after 2 innings. The Dodgers aren't playing today. What the hell is that? Are the Aints? What the hell? Okay, I don't. Am I looking at today? Yeah. Joey Marinaccio's best bet is the Astros. Dapper Capper. And then in NBA, I'm gonna join Troy and the Pelicans right now, and I'm gonna move on the under the Knicks Celtics. So there we go. Jose Bouquett, could you please review your action, my friend?
Sure. While I do this, could you let me know who has the tiebreaker in the Miami Orlando situation? Because I looked at the schedules after you said it wasn't a lock yet, and I was like, what?
I
So
didn't
I
say it was a
looked.
lock. I said, and I was thinking, it said, don't count your chickens.
Yeah. I was like, I looked and I was like, oh Jesus. I got my palms started sweating and I was like, I need that cash. So yeah, if you could let me know who has the tiebreaker, that would really make me sleep better at night, hopefully.
Yes,
I would love to see it.
give you that.
But yeah, let me
now.
log back into my account real quick.
I'm almost certain it's the Magic, but let me just.
Yeah, I hope so too, but whatever, we'll see. I'll give out some golf plays. I tailored from Gogster as well. Real quick, you make them official, whatever. Just something I bet. Shout out to the Masters. But I'm on the first 5 under 4.5 in the Royals game, minus 115. I am on the double up under 8.5 and 4.5 for the Red Sox Orioles game. That Troy has already said is a loser. He's already said it's going to lose. It's gone. I've already lost the bet. So under 8.5. Huh?
The Heat are 3-1 against the Magic this year.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Wow. Why did I not think that was the case? Wow.
Jimmy, it's time. Raptors. We need them one time.
Wow.
Christ. This is not good. Good.
Wow.
All right.
If I hadn't hedged it, I'd just be. I know what that feels like to have a 10-1 future spot that you need to cash, and it doesn't help having it doesn't give you a long restful sleeps.
Okay, well, we're up 2 games. There's fucking 2 games left. Magic and the Bucks. Are the Bucks going to really care? I don't think the Bucks will care. And with Giannis out there, I know they just lost with Giannis out once. I think the Magic will come back and get their ass that second game. I'll sweat it out, and maybe I'll have to bet the Heat that night or something. But I think the Magic will win that game. I'm fairly confident they'll go balls to the wall for that game. But that is scary.
Yeah, we'll be watching it very closely.
Yeah. So real quick, this Masters action, Xander top 10, Hideki top 10. I accidentally bet him top 5 as well, which is disgusting, but whatever. Will Zalatoris top 10.
Ooh, Corey Connors -2 to start it off. Let's go, Corey, baby.
Canadian,
Corey tied for 4th -2.
There we go. See, great times. Joaquin Needham top 20, Will Zalatoris top 20, and Cameron Young top 20. Shout out to Mr. Gogster.
Will Zalatoris -1 through 4, and no, I guess the other guys haven't started yet. Oh, come on, Corey, baby. All right,
yeah,
I
got
got
never
the
bet on the Masters, so I'm actually excited to watch. But yeah, let's get after it today.
Yeah. Oh, and that's good news. We got out of the top of the first. So how about this? If I go 3-0 to start the day,
you're not betting the rest of the card.
Come on, man.
He's like,
come on, man. Lose my number if I go that. I don't know why I would add the first 5. I just need to win. I need to win, and why mess with it? But maybe I'm primed for a bounce back. I'll make that.
It is funny though that if you're a 3-0, you're stopping, but if you go 2-1, you're gonna like chase the loss of another bet or whatever. It's gonna happen there.
Hey, it's a slippery slope in a dangerous world we live in. And Mally Mouse is winning is imperative. My guy Mally Mal ran with us since day one. OG of OG low baggers. I gotta get this action and get Ella. So let's put a bow on this. Thank you guys so much. All of you guys in the chat. You guys make this show special. We know that. It's the chat. And look at all of the stars of our show. They've all come from the chat. That's how you know. Rodney Barton, Philly Eagle Flyer, Mally Mal, Jarek White, Perky, Ramon Scott, Rob Free, Dustin and Jamie H, Brent Cook, Lower, Alabama, Hooper, Billy Friedrich. What a great group. Troy still rocking the chat. Joseph Alvarado in the house. Thank you guys. Bo Jackson, Polo this, Polo that, Fanatical Jim, the Dapper Capper. You know, I tell you what, I get my ass kicked yesterday. And I imagine that some people who have shows, when they get their ass kicked, they're afraid to come back the next day. And afraid isn't the right word, because I know when I get back with you guys, we focus on the work. You guys bring me back into the cash, and I'm just very thankful for the support. Tuesday was such a great day. I made so much money, and I didn't give it all back, but I gave a lot of it back yesterday, and it fucking hurt, dude. So thank you for boosting my spirits and keeping me focused. Happy birthday to our guys, Top Set and KG 1028. Happy birthday to you guys. Truly, the best bet on the board, I think, is the Toronto Maple Leafs.
You took a -1?
Every bet I made today on NHL is -1.
Yeah, because you're rolling big today. It's $400 day, Jimmy.
$400 day, Jimmy.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. And shout out to Top Set. Happy birthday to Top Set, a guy I've hung out with a time or two in Miami. Good guy.
God, isn't he great?
Appreciate him.
I love him.
Great guy.
I love him.
So I appreciate Top Set. Happy birthday to him. And and Troy just moved on Rangers, so he expects Rangers to dominate today. So appreciate you guys. Let's go pick up Ella.
Let's have a huge day today. We started strong. Let's keep it going. Let's bring the cash in. Jose, bless our action, my friend.
Let's go. We need it. 2-1. I kind of hope Jimmy goes 2-1 so he keeps making bets. I want him to make more bets. I want him to make more bets. Leche, a los bookmaker.